2025 live coverage. We're going to be grabbing the Xbox broadcast. We already reacted to Hollow Knight Silksong announcement. It's releasing on September the 4th. Be sure to check out my reaction video. That's where we're actually coming from right now. I'm going to redirect people over from there, so you can check out that video with the timestamp I'll be adding here momentarily. We're going to check out the Xbox Gamescom 2025, as well as other as well as Gamescom 2025 all trailers. So I'm going to end the previous stream and redirect folks over, and then I'm going to go in there and I'm going to add that timestamp for folks who may be watching it later. Let's see, where's the countdown? There's the countdown, and hang on. Okay. Did my broadcast blip when the stupid trailer played? No, it didn't. Okay. 126:37. 126:37. Hollow Knight Silksong reaction. There you go. Perfect. That's now time-stamped up. Redirect works so well I didn't even notice. Yeah, redirect has gotten better sometimes, so celebrate the fact that redirect has been better by smashing that like button. Get us our first 100 likes, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to go pull up the Xbox stream, and we are going to kind of rewind it and watch all the stuff that they've shown from their day 2 coverage. They kicked off with okay. All right, here we go. Let's check out what they kicked off with. Peggy 18. Hit the like button, or I'll make this broadcast Peggy 18.
Kill the brick man. Yes. Kill the brick man.
Oh, available today.
Only 1 minute into the day, and we've already dropped an Xbox Play Anywhere title, a world premiere, and you can go play it today. I'd call that a pretty solid start if you ask me. But we'll be around all day to let you know what's on deck. But let's just say Batman fans, Silent Hill fans, and Outer World fans should all be on the lookout for reasons to celebrate.
Hello again, everyone. We are the Xbox On team, and we've got even more in store for you today than went down yesterday. But in case you've forgotten, Xbox Play Anywhere means you can buy a game once and access it across PC and Xbox consoles, including the upcoming ROG Xbox Ally and Ally X handhelds when they drop on October 16th. Even better, your progress travels with you, so you can pick up right where you left off, bringing along your saves, your add-ons, your friends.
Yeah, they all did a great job yesterday. They're good hosts here. Oh, the Brickman game is $4.50 on Steam. There you go.
Game for the team.
Guys, make sure you're hitting the like button. Get us to the first 100 likes. Thanks for coming over from the other stream.
Are going to bring the show home with the absolute madness of High on Life 2. Plus, we'll unleash yet another new trailer for a Game Pass game that's Xbox Play Anywhere, and honestly, that would start to get a bit old if it weren't so awesome. First things first though, guys, Ninja Gaiden 4 is roaring onto Xbox with a new playable character, new weapons and bosses, and some new gameplay mechanics to consider. Day 2, show us what you got, Gamescom.
Bring it on.
Oh, I'll show you what I got, Henry. I got Team Ninja. Here to tell us more about Ninja Gaiden 4, our director, Masakazu Hirayama from Team Ninja, producer, director, Yuji Nakao.
If it's okay with you guys, I'm going to skip to where we actually get to see stuff. So, yeah.
See the fans and the players' reactions to everything that's been revealed up until now. We've been working on this game, in the shadows for a while, so it's been really great to finally reveal it, and ahead of its release on October 21st. And myself, I've been able to check out the show floor build, and see how players are engaging with the game and having fun, and it's been really great. And we'll be continuing to polish the game ahead of its release on October 21st.
Amazing.
If you guys have trailers and things you want to throw in the Discord to speed up the expediency here of just really seeing gameplay, feel free to throw those into the Discord.
発表されたんですけども、ヤクモとセオリーと、リュウハイブスとの、関係性について教えていただけますか？
そうですね。今作ですね、新しい主人公であるヤクモが、とある任務の途中で、セオリと出会うことになります。で、セオリは黒竜の巫女と呼ばれておりまして、そうですね。
This was live earlier. This was live earlier, but we were watching the Hollow Knight Silksong announcement. So, I think this looks great. I love the return to form. I love the obviously people like that right there. But yeah, I love the return to form. I love these some of these maybe more classic games getting more modernly interpreted. So I also think we've heard from previews that the camera issues have largely been resolved in this. So, no, Wiggleman, I saw your comment. I would love there to be like a new, more modern version of Castlevania. I would also love a Metroid that's basically like a true Metroidvania. I know we got Metroid Dread, but that was more of like a Metroid Fusion style than a Metroid like Vania. So, yeah. So, they're just showing some screenshots here, but it looks like we're going to be getting into some action here. I'm trying to just get you guys gameplay. This is Ninja Gaiden 4, and here we go. I should have some here.
So I hear we're in a little bit of a new setting here as well. Could you tell me a little bit about that, where we're at first?
まずこのステージについて教えていただければと思います。
こちらはですね、物語の中盤になっておりまして、先ほどお話ししてた竜神島の、基地に潜入するというパートになっています。
Yeah, so this stage is a little bit after the halfway point of the game, and Yakumo is infiltrating the headquarters of the Divine Dragon Order.
潜入って言っても思いっきり見つかっちゃってるんですけど。見つかっちゃって戦ってるんですけど。
Yeah, he's supposed to be infiltrating it. Of course, he's going in with a bang.
As is the Ninja Gaiden way.
Doesn't Sekiro mean wolf or something like white wolf?
今ちょっと装いがヤクモの衣装がちょっと違うと思うんですけど、こちら
One-armed wolf. I thought I heard Sekiro. No lock-on target.
普段の衣装と違って結構白基調の衣装になっているので、返り血とかが結構派手に目立つかっこいい衣装になっているかなと思います。
So you might have noticed that Yakumo is sporting a different outfit.
Are you sure? This looks like a lock-on right here.
になっているので、返り血
Because this guy ends up with a red dot on him.
派手に目立つかっこいい衣装になっているかなと思います。
So you might have
Are you sure that's not a lock-on?
Noticed that Yakumo is sporting a different outfit than what you see usually, and this is actually the pre-order bonus for Yakumo, and it's the costume he's wearing is called the Dark Dragon Descendant outfit, and because
that guy has a red light on him too, like a little dot. Guys, make sure you're hitting the like button.
The way the blood splatters on his outfit, it's really striking and very cool.
で今お見せしていたのがこれが今回新しいトレーラーで公開された暗記の武器になっておりまして、一つの武器にはなってるんですけど手裏剣だったりとか近接武器だったりとかっていうさまざまな武器を切り替えながら戦っていく結構トリッキーな武器になっています。
And you know the weapon that we're showcasing right now. This is the Assassin's Tools weapon, which was revealed in the opening night live trailer. And this it is one weapon, but within this weapon, this one weapon contains a wide arsenal. So there's long-range options in the form of these large shurikens, as well as a large arsenal of close-range melee weapons.
はい。でヌエの方ですね、ヤクモのパワーアップした状態になると背中からでかい腕が生えて普段よりもさらにでかい武器を使って戦うことができます。
And when you go into Blood Raven form with the Assassin's Tools, these large mechanical arms will come out of Yakumo's back. And this allows you to perform even more, devastating attacks using the weapons included in the Assassin's Tools arsenal.
I see.
あと本作ですね、これまでの発表とかでもお話はしていたんですけど武器がリアルタイムに切り替えられるようになってまして先ほどのからも映像で本だったりとか暗記だったりとかっていう武器に結構素早く切り替えて戦ってると思うんですけどもうこれぐらいリアルタイムで常に戦闘でいろんな武器を使いながら戦うことができます。
And you might have noticed in the footage that Yakumo is seamlessly switching between weapons. So in the fight that happened previously and what's happening right now, you'll see Yakumo switching seamlessly between the staff and Blood Raven hammer and the Assassin's Tools weapon.
Yeah, I like that.
あと先ほどちょっとちらっと見えたと思うんですけどシリーズファンの方向けになんですけど今回首切り投げっていう敵を投げるアクションがあるんですけどそちらがなんと今回から空中で使えるようになったのでより自由に戦うことができます。
And series fans might have noticed that Yakumo pulled it off an in-air guillotine throw. So this is a returning technique, and in Ninja Gaiden 4 you can actually use it mid-air and throw enemies at other enemies using this technique.
Sounds class. Love that. Awesome.
でここでまた敵が出てきて戦うこちらがツイストソードですね突進力を生かした武器で結構移動が多いんですけど単体に対してはすごく強い武器になっています。
And right now we see Yakumo using the rapier weapon, which transforms into a drill in Blood Raven form, and this is really effective in one-on-one encounters.
でこちらがおなじみのイズナ落としですね。
And of course we see the Izuna drop.
The classic. Oh, very good.
今回結構武器がヌエの方とカラスの方っていう形態に分かれているのでそれぞれでいろんな滅却の殺しのパターンっていうのが見れるのでかなり見てるだけでも気持ちのいいものになっているってことが分かるかなと思います。
Yeah, so the obliteration techniques, which are these flashy, finishers, they combine both the base form and the Blood Raven form varieties of these weapons. So very flashy and very cool.
ここは爆弾を使って一気にイズナ落としで敵を倒していきました。
So we saw Yakumo use bombs and then connect that into an Izuna drop.
Nice.
でここはスイッチを押してレーザーを止めながら戦っていくっていうパートになります。
Yeah, so in this room we have those danger lasers, and you can deactivate them by hitting that generator.
Okay, a little bit of environmental as well as having to deal with these enemies. Wow.
Guys, if you're just tuning in, thanks so much for more Gamescom coverage. This is brand new Ninja Gaiden 4 gameplay they debuted today, talking through how it'll feel, flow, and a lot of seamless weapon switching. I think it looks fantastic. Do me a favor if you haven't already. If you're watching on YouTube, hit that like button. Check your primes on Twitch. Check your resubs on YouTube. And consider supporting the channel directly with a membership. We appreciate you guys being here.
Went into the air using the Blood Raven form of the...
I have something really cool to show you guys here, too, when we have a bit of a break. I got a box from Twitch.
An on-landing ultimate technique. So there's really elevating the core, Ninja Gaiden combat experience with new possibilities.
これが暗記の絶技なんですね。
Yeah, and that was the Assassin's Tools ultimate technique.
でここがカラスニングっていう今回新しいニングアクションみたいのが使えて、そこでいろいろステージを進んでいくっていうのが。
And you might have seen right now Yakumo use a wire to traverse through the environment. So
King James says this isn't gameplay. It seems like just a vertical slice. Those statements aren't really mutually exclusive. I'm not quite sure what you're trying to communicate. This game is very soon to be releasing, isn't it? Like, I think this is probably genuine gameplay. I also don't think just because something's in a vertical slice. I mean, this is coming out in 2 months, homie. And a vertical slice is still gameplay. Like, a lot of what we've seen of Phantom Blade Zero is a vertical slice, but it's still genuine gameplay. So, and thank you, Adrian Firestorm, for renewing your membership. I can't add you to the total unless you're Member Plus, though, because a gifted member has already been counted when it was gifted to you. So thank you so much.
Of interrupting the pace, the high-speed, action pace that you expect from a Ninja Gaiden game.
No, it doesn't look like that at all. Very high.
ここは狭い道なので周囲の攻撃が得意なハンマーで攻撃してますね。
So you see how Yakumo entered this close quarters area, so he whipped out the staff and hammer because that's very effective at hitting multiple enemies around the player.
ただ油断していると今みたいに敵にもう容赦なくガードされて反撃されちゃうのでかなりそういうところも激しいゲームになってるかなと。
But the thing is, if you hesitate or you slip up, the enemy will be quick to punish you for it. So that intensity is always there.
今映った技っていうのが新しい敵を弾いた後に切り抜ける琥珀という技でして、あちらがジャスト入力で琥珀の派生に成功すると、確定で V 欠損するっていうちょっと新しい面白いシステムです。
So you might have seen Yakumo perform a Just Guard, and after you perform a Just Guard, if you press the heavy button at the right timing, you'll be able to do a counter, and this will dismember the enemy and allow you to finish them off with an obliteration technique.
こちらが今回ヤクモが使っているショップですね。通信担当の海というキャラクターからアイテムを購入したり、任務を受けたりすることができます。
And we just saw the Darkness terminal, so that's where Yakumo can buy items from a supporting character named Umi. In addition to buying weapons, you can also take on missions that will have you completing certain objectives during the stages.
今のところミサイル兵器をちょっと格好つけて刀で倒してるんですけど、ここ例えばですけどシリーズおなじみの飛燕で倒したりっていうこともできたりします。
Yeah, so Yakumo is performing some very flashy maneuvers to take out these missiles, but you can also use the legacy technique Flying Swallow to take them out.
Yeah, it looks like this game was developed in conjunction with Team Ninja, Platinum Games, and Koei Tecmo, so it looks like it was a collaborative effort. I don't know how much Team Ninja was involved.
This area of effect attack to take out multiple enemies at once.
見ていただくと分かると思うんですけど、結構もう体の部位がどんどん飛び散るような感じでかなりグロテスクなんですけど、ただすごい刺激的で気持ちいい絵になってるかなと思います。
Yeah, and through the course of these battles, you see limbs flying, and just this this violence, and but it's not, the violence in Ninja Gaiden, it's not meant to be grotesque. It's really to provide feedback and to the player and provide that sense of satisfaction and catharsis.
ここはプラットフォームの外に浮いている敵がいたので、暗記の手裏剣の攻撃で対処した後に近接武器からのイズナ落としみたいな感じのコンボでやってます。
Yeah, now you can see Yakumo use the assassin's tools to use projectile weapons to take out the enemies that are floating outside of the platform, and then switch up to those close counter weapons to take out the other enemies.
で今少し空中に飛んだんですけど、あれが新しいカラスニングのうちの一つのユスリカというものになってまして、風の気流に乗って空中を飛び回ることができます。
Yeah, YouTube compression's hurting this, Zubair. It looks really good to me. It'll look even better on televisions. I mean, I'm watching a stream, so I'm getting compression, and then you're watching my stream of the stream, so you're talking about like compressing the compression. Yeah.
していくので、かなりバトルとバトルの間が短くなって疾走感が今までよりも出ているかなと思います。
Yeah, so in addition to the Raven gear, you've probably seen the rail sections that have been premiered in prior footage. And these sections are really meant to keep that sense of propulsion through the stage and that maintain that sense of speed and tempo as you're going through these combat gauntlets.
そうですね、ここはちょっと敵の攻撃が苛烈なのでだんだん辛くなってきてる状況かなと思います。
You can see the enemies are really amping it up and giving Yakumo a hard time.
Oh yeah.
このちょっとでも油断したらすぐやられてしまうっていうところも忍者ガイデンの変わらない魅力かなというふうに思います。
Yeah, and that sense of just relentlessness from the enemies. That's what really makes Ninja Gaiden distinct.
なんで時を超えて最新作としては出してるんですけど、今まで感じてたようなすごいハードな。
I think I need hands-on with this because I do think the abilities and the impact is probably better felt with your hands on the controller. Like this can start to look and feel like the word I usually use is frivolous, where you feel like you're just sort of insanely slashing your way through enemy after enemy. I think the impact of this is going to land a lot better when you're actually controlling it and you're the one pulling off the dodges, the blocks, the big huge abilities. You know what I mean? Because I think it looks great. I think the execution, the presentation is on point. And it also looks like they were very mindful of some of the criticisms and complaints about camera and things of that nature in the past, like the Ninja Gaiden that got shadow dropped earlier this year. What was it, Ninja Gaiden Black? I just didn't like the feel of it at all. Like, it felt very old, but also looked new. This looks like it sort of landed in the landscape of today. And the level design reminds me a little bit of Hi-Fi Rush, which is a completely different game. But I love a game that's just sort of like, go to the next area, do the next thing, fight these enemies, fight these bosses, get into a bit of a throwdown. I enjoy that. I do. There's so much motion. Every frame is a key frame. Yeah, when there's this much motion and you're not in control, you can kind of get lost in the insanity. I don't mind the speed of the game. I worry about how the speed of the game will work with the camera, like how much is auto tracking and how much is player intentionally controlling the camera. It looks like the camera is doing a blend of player control, but also just sensible following. You know what I'm saying? Like, the flow of combat is generally happening in a controlled space. So, yeah. If you guys missed this announcement, this is very exciting. Deep Rock Galactic Survivor had its 1.0 moment a little while ago. Oh no, I think its 1.0 moment is in September. I apologize. I think I said that earlier and I was in error. I thought it already had its 1.0 moment, but it is coming to Xbox and Game Pass in September. So if you miss this announcement, if you like Vampire Survivors and Deep Rock Galactic, this is such a happy marriage between two types of games. Wonderful grind, September the 17th. Not sure if they have plans to bring it to PlayStation or not. Obviously, I'm a little bit bummed now that PlayStation's kind of become my central hub for gaming, and I don't game that much on my Xbox anymore. Kind of bummed that I've been pulling for Deep Rock Galactic Survivor to come to console for so long. And when it finally does, it's an exclusive deal. But that's probably a good thing for the developers. That, they probably got a nice check to go on to Game Pass and to do some kind of an exclusivity deal. I would imagine it will hit PlayStation eventually. But we'll have to obviously wait and see. My backlog is really, really long, so I don't know if I have time to grind that one again. I've hit my limit with Deep Rock Galactic Survivor. A couple of the biomes I can't beat at the max level. I just can't make builds with enough damage output. Yeah, games like that always kind of run into that. Yeah. And we're looking here at Outer Worlds 2, so I'm assuming they're going to be doing an interview with the developers next about this game. I think it looks good. I just feel like the more I've seen it, the less interested I've become in this game. I've got to get hands-on and see how it feels and how it plays. The guns just have that sort of like, I don't know. There's something about it that isn't pulling me in, and we'll see if that changes with time. So they're probably going to be sitting down with the devs here to discuss the game. Oh, looks like no, they're going to be discussing something completely different here. Oh, this is Fate's End.
Village of Creston, and she's doing for 7 brothers and sisters, God Sword. She's got to reunite them to restart the cycle. And she's being told, basically by her sword Azus, that something is afoot with Camilla. So I'm opening a little mind palace.
These menus.
Thank you so much.
This is gorgeous.
So Azus, your sword, kind of has an insight, and he sees that through tarot cards. And basically, Azus detected something in Camilla's behavior that makes you think that she's not as good as she's pretend she is.
Okay.
So her sword Tyrannus is the god of sky and thunder, and she basically did a terrible job at doing anything. So the weather is out of control. There is, as you can see, it's lush and green there, but some areas are pretty dry.
Okay. Yeah.
So basically, right now we are on the track of trying to find why Camilla did lie to us. So we have to do two things right now. We have to meet her in the chapel.
Yep.
We have to go in the chapel to find clues about what happened to people around her.
Yep.
And then we also have to meet her at the tavern at night, which is what we want to do. So
and we picked those up. That was a quest log, right?
Yes,
the thing we were looking at before. It's like a detective quest log.
Exactly.
Wow,
But if I just now
so
want
cool.
to interact with the world, with a simple button press, I can actually stop time at any moment.
Oh, wow.
That's how I can actually interact with things. And that guy, little guy over there could tell me that, hey, you know what? Come back here at night. So we have to find a way to make night happen here in the village.
Okay, and I'm sure you know exactly how to do that.
I mean, in most
I
games,
kind of have a hunch on how to do it.
Yeah.
But right now, let's go to the chapel that we saw over
Okay,
there. Maybe
sure.
something is gone in on that little tavern, crypt over there. But
Whoa!
so
No.
yeah, I
nice.
know we can go back in the layers.
do it again.
So
It's not
real.
No, I don't want to puke. I don't want to
Just do that for the whole demo.
That's great.
So in the chapel, we know that there's some stuff that we can gather, some intelligence, some clues about why people are afraid and distrustful of Camilla. So that guy here is talking to another person of that group that feels like a cult, and it's a pretty toxic masculinity cult that is linked to her brother Roman.
Okay, sure.
I won't say more about that because I don't want to give credit to anyone.
Great family by the sounds of it
Yeah.
so far as well.
And you see the bubble right now is kind of weird and flaky
yeah,
because
sure.
this is a pretty specific inside the sword is selecting for you. So basically when you see this, it's going to transform into a clue card that then you're going to add to your own story.
Okay, so Deep Rock Galactic devs have said the following, and Paul was pretty much on point with this, saying that it was probably just easier to bring it to Xbox. They said, we're really excited for the opportunity to be part of Game Pass, and while we wish we could be going out on everything all at once, there is a lot of work in multi-platform, not just development and compliance, but a lot of business development before that. Each new platform multiplies the complexity of the core project and slows feature development, if you can even be allowed on that platform. Gee, it's almost like multi-platform development increases the budget of the game, something I've said many, many times. That's amazing that another developer is echoing that sentiment right now as their game was in early access and coming to 1.0 moment. Wow, that's incredible that another developer is saying something I've said, 85 times about the topic. Xbox has been relatively simple for us on Game Pass because we have worked with Microsoft, but even then it has taken a lot of sweat and hard work to get there. Other studios completely skip multi-platform because they can't get through to even start developing for console platforms. Game Pass is an enormous win for Survivor, and it makes more platforms in the future more likely, just as a successful 1.0 will. I'm personally elated to finally be able to share this news, and I'm super hyped for the future of Survivor. So this is something I have actually said about Game Pass, that it can be very helpful to smaller titles because they procure funding that is necessary without the risk of drowning in a sea of other titles. This is why I've said over and over that Game Pass seems perfectly suited for smaller titles. I've even kind of said they should embrace trial meta, where you get trials to smaller titles on Game Pass to promote them actually being purchased by people that enjoy them, because so many people use Game Pass to try games anyway. Why not use that as a funnel to procure purchase culture for smaller indie studios who you can then put on Game Pass as a trial? But that's a whole other debate. The funding from Game Pass, though, is seemingly helping Deep Rock Galactic Survivor come to other platforms in the future because they've been able to essentially procure the funding for it through the Game Pass contract, which is great. But also, their commentary on it clearly paints a picture as to why this whole multi-platform is the future and games on every platform is the future. It's got to be one of the dumbest predictions I've seen people in this industry make, as just one more developer has weighed in on that adds complexity and cost. So the people that continue to make those predictions could not be more out of touch with where things are headed. You are not going to see this massive influx of game developers shedding the idea of only being on one or two platforms. That theme is going to continue because it keeps the cost of development down and helps with profit. So another developer weighing in on it. Yeah, same for Sword of the Sea. Yeah, they procured enough money for the PS Plus deal to help basically save their game. So this is an interesting game. You basically engage in combat with cards I want to kind of go back and watch this exchange as I was kind of reading the Deep Rock Galactic Survivor update. Okay, so here we go. Let's listen.
Attack in any direction, as you can see there.
Oh, nice.
I'm going to try to kill that guy over here. Oh, my twitch. Oh, there you go. Boom, kill.
Oh, got him.
Shot.
Exactly. And now I can also pass time in
that?
the
What's the
fight.
button for that?
I'm going to gain some Arcana points to energy. Every move in the game is basically based on an encounter you have with your brother and sister. So that move right here is based on your brother Roman, and he's the devil. And I can throw my sword with this and select that.
Oh, that was
Nice.
so cool.
So many fights, they do have specific arenas and many phases basically happening. So I'm going to try to be good right now and focus on what I do.
Yeah, you
Otherwise,
got
the
this.
team at home watching right now will
Do
actually saying, Nick,
the blue barrier, is that like a shield you're
yeah,
trying to get
exactly.
behind? Nice.
So
okay.
I also have another move, which is a grenade, which I'm going to use right now. Pew! And then
Yeah, nice.
Oh, that's taking a bit of the shield out.
Yes.
Yeah.
boom.
Get
I
in
did it.
there.
I did it.
Yeah.
I really like the flow of combat with shields as well as like abilities and pauses as just the sort of also just the basic moment to moment, like jumping around and using melee based. Like this looks really, really good. I really like this game. I like the vibe of it. I like the art style. I like the combat. We're going to skip ahead here and get a little bit more of the combat.
Move in a
We got
tactical
a boss
stance.
here, health bar at the top.
So all
She's
the
very
moves
quick,
can be
huh?
actually reversed and to be either dynamic or tactical.
Okay.
All right, so she's summoning thunder. Let's. Oh, that actually missed it. That's fine. No. Okay. All right.
I'm seeing a lot that the barriers are very directional,
Yeah.
depending
Yeah.
on their move as well.
Absolutely.
So I imagine there's going to be a lot of
Still
traversal
using-
stuff you can do to maybe get behind people quicker.
I
That's
like
really
this. The
Oh,
the
nice.
tactics
So
of
using your
waiting for
brother against her
opens
as well,
is
that's fun.
really cool.
All right, I can do it. I can do it.
Go on.
Have
this-
faith in me. Have
This
faith
has
in me.
been a good string of hits.
Oh no, she's summoning lightning rods. That's gonna be terrible.
Wow.
Oh, okay, so we need to get rid of them.
Yeah, I need to get rid of them.
She's tough.
Ooh, she's tough. I can do it. I can do it.
Good, it's good.
Yeah, if I do enough of them, yeah, she's gonna disappear. I can do that.
Get her,
and
get her,
there you
get her!
go.
Nice
Yes,
big hit.
I did it.
Nice.
Huge.
Beautiful.
All right.
It's a lengthy
That's not-
fight.
that's
He's
not
only
lose
got
focus.
3 of
Oh,
her
yeah,
hearts
that
down.
did kind of
Gotta
lose
get that
focus.
roast.
Yeah. Holy. Yeah, I can do it.
You know,
promise
I
guys.
totally believe it.
Again, electrodes. I have to get rid of those.
Oh, those are
Another
slightly
upper attacks.
different though. There's quite a deep move set for
Yeah, she does an awful lot of things, to be honest. And she's super tough to beat, actually. And okay, she does another variation of her attack, which is basically she can go at me, she can summon, lightnings to me.
Whoa, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
I love a screen.
I'm gonna use the
filler.
grenade there.
Dodge some AoE,
There you
yeah.
are.
Nice, getting rid of barriers.
Oh yeah, here we go, there we go, nice gap.
Yeah, I can do it. I can do it.
Almost halfway there.
Yeah.
I believe.
Oh,
Oh, nice.
That's
Good
time.
dodge.
yeah, nice.
Good.
Yeah, you got it
There you
there. Beautiful. How often can you use
This
that
is
card of your
sick.
brothers?
It's based on the little gauge you have at the bottom of the screen.
Oh, beautiful.
And right now she's beaten
Whoa.
enough to be actually needing to catch her breath. So she's summoning you back in the sky to have a very specific conversation moment with her. So every duel is basically interrupted by these moments of conversation with your siblings.
Wow.
Hey.
Because they're not just fights. You're having
Yes,
you're
exactly.
having a battle, a confrontation. This is a family feud.
Exactly. So now you can choose what to tell her. And depending on what you actually choose now, this will have consequences in the fight.
Wow.
So because
okay.
we know Camilla, I mean, you know her for like 15 minutes now, but I've been knowing her for a long time.
Yeah, sure.
I know that if I actually take care of what I say to her, which is, you didn't do that exactly on purpose, did you? She might be actually taking a step back and saying, oh, okay, you're right. So see, she's losing a hard diamond there.
So because you were empathetic to her,
Exactly. That was the right choice in that conversation.
does that mean that there's a flip side where if you
There is a
aggravate
complete
her,
flip side. If you don't say the right thing to your brother and sister, they might, just get angry and be harder to beat. Exactly like in real
I
life.
don't think
isn't
I've
it?
seen a mechanic like that
That's
in a game
really
before.
cool.
I'm definitely going to mess up all the conversations.
are you going to go with that down the
I
angry
probably
route?
will. I probably will.
You definitely will. If I know anything about you.
So she's admitting it. She messed up and she knows that she's sorry. And so we basically got to her by saying this.
Yeah.
So her life is not only her life, it's also her mental stamina in a way.
blast.
But she's going to be tougher in phase 2,
Whoa.
summoning the two
Whoa.
sphinxes of her chariot because she's symbolized by the chariot's major arcana.
Even the arena's like totally changed now. You can see like
You've got more clouds
cut
at the
off.
top.
Yeah. Whoa, these attacks are intense.
Nice.
Oh, that's a
there's
good opening.
Great
There's an
gap.
opening
Good
to shoot
opening.
right there.
Yes, have it,
I
Camilla.
did it.
Oh, good dodge.
Okay,
Okay,
I'm
that's
gonna
it.
wait
Now
for
we're
her
gonna
to
jump
attack
over.
me. Get ready. She might
get her there.
summon the black sphinx over my head. So if you see something, a dark cloud, just tell me. You know, like in
Okay.
those kids, you know,
Ice
shows like
field.
there's someone behind you.
Oh, like
I
that.
can do it. No,
Up there,
that
up
was
there,
actually
up
a
there.
trick attack.
Oh, there we go.
I
Nice.
don't know where she's going. Right. Oh yeah, no, the
She's
electric.
so mobile.
The lightning rods again. Yeah, she teleports over. All those, the Hemlock Knights, they are super mobile and they move so quickly.
And the fight is just a whole arena as well.
Yeah,
it's not
absolutely.
just back and forth.
Doing that again.
Yeah, while she's
There
distracted.
you go. Oh no, it's not. No, I did. Okay, I can do it.
Got it, I think.
Almost there, guys.
You are
So
See the black
close.
sphinx
Yeah.
over my head is gonna basically pump up lightnings at me.
I have a feeling you're making this look easy.
Yeah.
And even saying that, this looks really difficult.
Well, when we play it, we'll be the judges.
Oh, 100%. I'm gonna be all over this.
Oh, that was a big one.
We're in the red, Nick.
That was like, oh yeah, it's fine. I'm gonna do something. Okay, I'm gonna. Oh no.
There's a lot of lightning
there's a-
rods.
there's a
I'm
lot of
getting
the
hammered
chariots
right
as
now.
well.
Getting hammered. Okay, I'm gonna wait for my grenade to fill up. So
Okay.
grenade there, and then I will actually
Cards.
attack her.
Yes.
It should
Beautiful.
do something. Yeah, it worked. Okay, great. We're almost there.
Nice. Two more left. Two more left.
Yeah, two more. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. I'm
That's a
actually
lot of
sturdier than it
lightning.
looks. And grenade again, and then attack again.
No, no
I can do it.
cards.
I can do it.
Nice.
This game is called Fate's End.
It
1
worked.
HP.
So she's gonna be completely hammered now, and that's the final moment of conversation that people will stalemate.
Oh,
So this
okay.
is the choice we have to make,
So
you
this
guys.
is it now.
This
Yeah.
is it.
The choice.
Okay.
So basically, you can try to be empathetic towards her, and I understand that this is a duty you should never had, or yeah, you should never had it, but at the same time you had a job and people died because of you.
That's
What do you
also
wanna
true.
choose?
It's not
Valid.
great.
What are you gonna go for, Nick?
I say let's be truthful with her. Let's say
Yeah,
that
I think
people died
that's
because of
fair.
you, right? You had one job, didn't do it.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right.
I didn't realize this is Thunder Lotus. This is Thunder Lotus. These are the guys that made Sundered and Spiritfarer.
We understand basically.
Yeah.
But see, she brushes that up, saying, "But yeah, but we are gods. Come on, What happens if people die? You know." Which is not exactly the answer we were expecting of her.
No.
Yeah.
I would have liked to have seen some remorse, maybe. Or,
Yeah,
you know.
true.
No.
I tell you what, I'm going to be taking so many screenshots of this game.
Sorry, it's at Fate's End, not just Fate's End. At Fate's End. You can wishlist it now on all platforms.
They were
Wow.
I
I
want to
am
know what
speechless.
happened.
Targeting next year.
You will have to play the game in 2026.
I was definitely going to do that anyway.
I mean, yeah, this is just that's field fate even more for me. I would say that looked absolutely amazing. Thank you
Yeah.
so much for joining us, Nick.
Yeah, thank you, Nicholas.
Again, thank you so much for having me, guys. It was awesome. Thank you for this. It was great.
Absolutely. I'd love to have seen more, but hey, I'm really just looking forward now to checking out At Fate's End when it drops in 2026. And if you at home are hooked, make sure that you wishlist At Fate.
It's no
Hey everyone, Med here to welcome you to the 33 Immortals Update 3 overview. Today, I'll be walking you through all the new content coming with this next update, from a new monster type, to new daily events, to new loot. There's a lot to cover, so let's dive in. Say hello to Unique Elites. Once per run, a unique rendition of the elites you've come to love and slay will spring to life and roam the map, looking for victims. When a unique elite is discovered, an alert will be sent to all rebels to invite them to join the battle. These monsters are not for the faint of heart. They'll pack a punch and won't go down easy. Face them at your risk and peril. Emphasis on the peril. Defeating them will net you 2 relics and a chance at many more rewards. Speaking of rewards, we're introducing a brand new way to collect extra loot after each run, named Call to Arms. Every day, at a specific time, Beatrice will invite all rebels to join forces and tackle a temporary challenge in the Beyond. Challenges can change from day to day, so make sure to check the schedule. Joining a Call to Arms will give you a temporary buff and reward you with extra Eternal Shards. These shards will allow you to upgrade your perks and weapons a lot faster, while the temporary buff will increase your odds of success when facing 33 Immortals' dangerous enemies. While you're at it, how about slaying some monsters with style? Say hello to our brand new Legendary Weapon skins. This brand new type of cosmetic is only available to those who have proven themselves worthy by defeating a major boss. There is 1 Legendary Weapon skin per weapon to collect for each major boss, meaning 4 different skins from Lucifer and 4 from Adam and Eve. While I can't guarantee you'll find one in your next run, rewards come to those who persevere. That's all from me for today. Thanks for joining me in the 33 Immortals Update 3 overview. See you in a dark woods near you. Available to
A little on the loud side. Frag Punk? It's like a prop hunt game, but it reminds me of Frag Punk, but it looks like a prop hunt game. Welcome back, Tebow. Thank you so much for renewing your membership, getting us to 333. And the contest between the platforms is still pretty close. Twitch could mount a comeback here. We want to end the day at 400, leading into tomorrow. Yeah, this is not Frag Punk. I think this is called Toys Night. Oh, Toys Awaken. New mode coming soon. Oh, no. It is Frag Punk. It is Frag Punk.
So let me get this straight. Toys come alive when you don't look at them, but they kill each other. Okay, I think that cancels itself out. That's good. Feel safer. Of course, if your toys ever get too rowdy, or God forbid, go on a full-on crime spree, you're going to need a Batman to step in. Some sort of toy-based Batman. And here to help me find one is Jonathan Smith, head of the development team on Lego Batman, Legacy of the Dark Knight, Batman's first AAA title in over a decade.
All right, I'm seeing those gameplay. I'm fast-forwarding.
It's a huge pleasure. Thank you for having me.
Now, you obviously had the reveal trailer on opening night live.
Yep.
How has...
Sadly, no gameplay.
Including the T-Rex. Hopefully everything goes to plan.
Sorry, that's just an interview with no new gameplay. It was just clips from the trailer. Guys, if you haven't done so already, hit that like button. Try to get us to 200 likes. More Gamescom 2025 live coverage for you today.
Enclosures, but also a number of new attractions. Floating in the background, you may have noticed a hot air balloon. And over here, we have our new dinosaur encounter, where guests can pet your dinosaurs. These attractions are great, but what if you want something to go through an enclosure? Veterans of the game will be familiar with our gyrospheres, which will be making a return. However, the Cretaceous Cruise lets your guests view dinosaur families whilst cruising along rivers and water bodies, opening up all sorts of interesting ways to construct your enclosures with this attraction in mind. Like all our attractions, I'm going to need an entrance. We have our building already placed down. Jurassic World Evolution 3 now features modular building, meaning you can customize buildings like this to your heart's content. We have 3 enclosures we want this ride to pass through, so our guests get to see a wide variety of dinosaurs, including that T-Rex we mentioned. I've placed a couple of security cameras around. We should be safe if things get a little chaotic. Let's start adding a track. It's incredibly easy. Clicking here, I can simply lay down the route I want, adjusting the path to be curved or straight as needed. And while this is a great starting point, our new scenery pieces mean we can make these spaces even more interesting. Let's make the ride feel more dynamic by adding a rock arch. If we go into the scenery panel, we have a wide variety of rocks to choose from. Very easily...
Lego game is AAA? Doubtful? What do you mean doubtful? Like... What do you mean? I mean, Lego Skywalker Saga is an enormous game.
That looks great.
Like, probably a pretty big budget as well, I would imagine. A lot of work went into it.
Let's place that down and add a track through this fence.
Yeah, my Silksong reaction stream is separate from this one, Emissary. You can watch it on the YouTube channel.
Terrain that can act as natural barriers to keep dinosaurs separated. You no longer need to rely purely on fences to house your dinosaurs. I'm also moving into deep water now, deep water is a new feature and a need for some of our dinosaurs. Certain species will be able to navigate through the water or swim. We can see in this enclosure we have some brachiosaurs. They're able to wade through deep water. On the banks of the river, you can also see foliage we've laid down to create a canopy around this area. Let's use one of the compound brushes to finish off a section over here. The scenery brushes make detailing your spaces super simple. We now have our ride complete. Let's open it and head down to guest level. There's multiple perspectives you can choose from when interacting with the kayak. You can observe from third person, first person, or even take control of the ride. In this perspective, you will take control, allowing you to move the kayak freely both along the track ride or outside it. From this vantage point, you can get up close to the dinosaurs. Let's take a look at our Parasaurolophus. In this enclosure, we have a number of males and females, each with their own unique colour and pattern, making the dimorphism quite apparent. Dinosaur traits will be able to pass down from generation to generation, with certain features being worth more to your overall park rating. Over here, we can see the juveniles as they play in their enclosure. They'll interact with each other as well as adults, so keep an eye out. As we head into the next enclosure, let's hop over to one of the guest kayaks and check out what they're able to see. Passing through the canopy, it's a great chance to call out just how good the new lighting and water in the game looks. It adds so much to the effect of this attraction. And finally, we make our way into the T-Rex enclosure. These guys can get a bit restless with boats travelling through, so you want to keep an eye, or preferably a security camera, on these sorts of enclosures. That about brings us to the end of our demo, and hopefully you can see just how creative and dynamic this new ride will be. There's so many ways to integrate it into your park.
There's a whole thread on Reddit. It says, do you think Lego games are AAA? It's a common debate. I mean, AAA comes down to perception. AAA comes down to budget. AAA comes down to, size and scope of the game. There's a lot of people that debate AAA, and they sort of define it in their own way. I think, hang on, let me make sure I don't have this properly cropped.
Hey there, hope you're enjoying this absolutely peng-a-leng broadcast thus far. And
There we
don't
go.
forget, later today, we've got our Borderlands 4 controller giveaway and the Outer Worlds 2 and Age of Empires 4 deep dives as well. But right now, I'm extremely
このキャラクターは、主人公の宮本む
who we
To show you that play
内容
story today, and interpreter Elliot Smith for joining me to tell me all about the latest installment in the Storied series. What have you got to share with us today,
Onimusha.
guys?
じゃあ今日何
All right, we got gameplay of
like-
Onimusha.
Now we're starting to look at this now. Can you give us a little bit of context on where we are and most importantly, who we are in Onimusha Way of the Sword?
じゃあ開始しましたが、ここはどこでしょうか。そしてこの人は誰でしょうか。
はい、ここは、京都清水寺という場所になります。で、このキャラクターは、主人公の宮本武蔵というキャラクターです。
So we are at Kiyomizu-dera Temple in Kyoto, and the character you see here is our protagonist, Miyamoto Musashi.
Oh wow.
それでは、清水寺の舞台に向かって今進めていきます。
So what I'm doing right now is heading towards the stage at Kiyomizu-dera Temple.
Is that a significant temple?
それなんか特別とか大事なおキャラですかね。
そうですね、京都の中でも非常に名所と呼ばれるところで、今回その神域と呼ばれる場所が、現場に侵略されているという設定になっています。
Yes, it's a very, very famous temple that exists in Kyoto, and at this point in the game, it's been overrun by Genma, so we have to sort that out.
I like to sort that out. That feels like an Englishism.
It may well be.
Can you speak more about the color that just went into the weapon then, if there's anyone who's maybe unfamiliar with the franchise?
今何か光ってて固定の中に入りましたが、それは何でしたかね。
はい、これは、鬼武者で登場してくる、魂と言われる存在で、玄魔を倒したりすると出てきますね。
So that's a long-running aspect of the Onimusha series, but they're called souls. And when you attack or kill Genma, they come out and you can absorb them.
Sneaky. Nice.
今の賢いかったですね。
ありがとうございます。
Thank you very much.
Can you speak more about the combat style? Is there a preference that you like to play Nihei-san, or are there loads of options you can do here?
アクションですが、二平さんの好みとかいろいろ選択があるんですが、ちょっとそれについて語っていただけますか？
そうですね、僕の好みはまず敵がどんな行動をしてくるかっていうのを見るところからスタートして、そこからは気持ちよく動くっていうところが、自分で攻めるっていうところが好きですね。
So personally, I like to wait and see what the enemy is going to do, and then once I figured out the way that they move, I like to then move in on them and attack take the advantage and attack.
Beautiful. And I noticed there's some deflection to this as well. So is that the only ranged attack that you can do? Is that patience and deflecting it, or are there other things that unlock later on in the game?
今はね、飛び道具をした弾き返したと思うんですが、それ以外の、自分から出せる飛び道具ありますでしょうかね？
そうですね、今武蔵のこの初期状態はそういうのはないんですけど、成長することで、そういう飛び道具が使えるようになることもあります。
At this point in the game, the only way that you can really use projectiles is to knock the enemy's projectiles back at them.
Okay, yeah.
But as you progress through the game, Musashi gets some projectiles of his own.
今ちょっとお見せしたのが一戦と呼ばれるもので、敵の攻撃に合わせてうまく、攻撃ボタンを押すと発生する、過去にもあったような気持ちよさを演じているものですね。
So what I just did there to take down that enemy was what's called Isen. It's essentially something that you can achieve by very carefully timing your inputs along with the enemy's attack. And it's very, very satisfying to pull off.
So what you're saying is Nihei-san just did something really technically impressive and wants everyone to know about it.
ということはめっちゃ難しいことを今やり遂げて自慢してるんですね。
そうですね。
Definitely bragging.
攻撃に合わせて攻撃ボタンを押す、敵の攻撃に合わせて攻撃ボタンを押すっていうことはリスクがあるので、非常に難しいけどできたら気持ちいいというアクションですね。
If you guys are enjoying the Gamescom coverage, do me a quick favor on YouTube, especially hit that like button. Try to get us to 200 likes. Appreciate you guys being here. We're kind of skipping through the coverage just to get you new gameplay. And your support is how I do this every day, so thank you for that.
Significant. What's happening here?
何か展開ありましたね。これは何でしょうか？
そうですね、ここのシーンは初めて武蔵がこの黒魂と呼ばれる新しい、今回登場してくる魂を吸うと、目の力が覚醒して、過去に起きた光景というものを見ることができます。
So there's Right now what Musashi did is he absorbed what's called a dark mass, which is a new aspect of the series in this game. And when he absorbed that, he's gained the power of Oni vision, and it's allowed him to see things that happened in this area in the past.
Oh, okay. So that's what's happening in this cutscene here.
ということは今のカットシーンは、
清水寺の舞台へ何か人が行列をなして運んでいるというシーンになっていますね。
So what we can see in this vision of the past in this cutscene is that there are a group of people who are carrying something towards the stage at Kiyomizudera Temple.
まだなんでそこに向かっているのかっていうのは謎に包まれています。
Of course, at this point in the game, we don't exactly know what it is or why they're carrying it.
And I'm sure you're not going to tell me why they're doing it either.
それ教えてくれませんね。
このロムではまたさらに次に進むと新たな展開があるので、そこで見ることができると思います。
As we work our way through this playable section of the game, you'll learn a little bit more about that. So please be patient for now.
Okay, absolutely, I will. I got to say as well, I love how dark and thematic. And am I right in saying there's like horror elements to this inspiration of art design as well?
結構暗くて不気味ですが、なんかホラーの要素もあるんでしょうか？
そうですね。今回ホラーを意識しているというよりかは、このおどろおどろしいその不気味さというところ、そこはダークファンタジーのニムシャ特有のらしさというところもあるので、そこを意識して作ってます。
So we're not really trying to make a horror game. Horror is not something we focused on, but we definitely want to make things eerie and creepy. We consider this to be a dark fantasy game, and that's something that we've kept in mind while developing it.
今ちょうどこの目隠せを使うことで、封鎖されてた道が開けるというような、ところがやっています。
When we absorbed the dark mass earlier, as I said, we got that Oni vision power, and using that, we were just able to see a way to unlock a blocked door.
Yeah, it was that creepy hand-looking thing, and you said this wasn't a horror game.
なんか手から作られたような化け物があったんですが、本当にホラーじゃないんですか？
ホラーじゃないです。
It's really not a horror game.
先ほどみたいにこの武蔵が鬼の力を使って 謎を解きながら進むという要素もありますね。
What I wanted to show you with that Oni vision trick, though, is that the power of the Oni that Musashi has access to via his gauntlet can be used to solve puzzles and mysteries to get through the levels.
このように、受け流すと敵を壁にぶつけて、ダメージを与えるっていうことができるので、受け流しのユニークさというところですかね。そういうところも、環境を使って遊べるというアクションもあります。
Just now I was able to parry that enemy and using his own momentum slam him into the wall, which caused damage. It's one of the unique aspects of the parry system, is being able to use the environment to your advantage.
Absolutely. I don't think Nihei-san has taken a single hit so far. I just want to call that out.
今考えてみると、一回も攻撃を食らったことないんですね。
そうですね。自分がちょっと覚醒してるかもしれないですよね。
Yeah, I think I might be locked in right now.
That was cool with the cart as well. Are there other elements in the environments you could pick up and manipulate?
今の台車での攻撃かっこよかったんですね。他に環境のものを使えますか？
そうですね。この第8車というものがあったりするときはこうやって押して倒すこともできたり、畳みたいなところもあると畳返しをして敵にぶつけたりするようなアクションもあります。
Yeah, in addition to the large cart that I just attacked the enemy with, there's also things such as inside buildings you may find tatami mats on the floor, which you can pick up and use to your advantage, either to block or to attack.
Oh, okay.
それではまた新しいところに黒魂があったので、ここで次の展開がまた見ることができます。
So we've moved ahead here and found another dark mass, and this is going to give us a little bit more of the story.
What's happening here? What's the context?
何が起こっているんでしょうか、これは。
そうですね。実はこれは玄馬の指示によって人が何かを運んでたというシーンになります。
What we see here is that the people who were carrying things to the temple earlier were being forced to do so by the Genma.
Oh no!
やだ今の。
これはですね、玄馬が指示によって、人が下に投げ落としているというシーンなんですけど、実はこれ京都にある伝承をもとに、作ったものです。実際にその京都の舞台から人が投げ捨てられてたという、話があったので、それを、今作では玄馬が指示してやっていたというような、お話を作ってます。
So, in real history, people used to throw bodies from the temple from the stage at Kiyomizu-dera Temple to dispose of them. And we've sort of given our own twist to that in this story, where it's the Genma who are having people throw, other people off, as you saw just there.
Oh, wow. Was that important to reflect as much accurate history as possible throughout the franchise?
やっぱり歴史をいろいろ見せたかったんでしょうかね。
そうですね。今回京都を舞台にした理由の一つに、その長い歴史のある京都にそういうおどろしいお話とかそういうところが非常に魅力的だったので、今回このただの綺麗な京都を描くというよりも、そういうところを鬼武者と絡めて、新しい世界観とものが、ゲームを作りたかったというのがあります。
Absolutely. Part of the reason we chose Kyoto is it's a place that has lots of legends and myths surrounding it, and a lot of them are quite creepy. So when we're making a game like this, we're really able to use that to advantage, and we wanted to show that off as much as possible.
Totally. And now this looks like a pretty cool baddie, right? Who's this?
これはかっこいい悪役ですね。誰でしょう？
そうですね。このキャラは佐々木巌流と言いまして、武蔵のライバル的な存在として描いています。
So this character is Sasaki Ganyu, and he serves as Musashi's, I suppose you'd say, his rival in the game.
Ah, okay.
All right, so there's a clip on Twitter that's being critical of this fight and saying, this is what I didn't want this to turn into, just a red light, green light fight style, and people are saying it largely misrepresents the combat. So let's kind of watch and see if we feel like the Onimusha combat has been too dumbed down in that regard. I'm not seeing that right now, so.
状態となりまして、刀が強化されて、青魂が出やすくなるという特徴があります。
What I did right now was just enter the blazing state by doing lots of parries. You can see that the sword there is glowing blue, and what you get from this state is that when you attack, you get more blue souls.
で今ゲージを下の体力ゲージの下のゲージを削ってこの V が選択できるようになったんですけど、これもまあ新しい要素として崩し視点と呼ばれるものです。
Just now, by depleting his stamina gauge entirely, you saw a little scene where we're able to pick a part of Ganyu to attack. And when doing that, obviously, you can get certain advantages. That's a new system in this game.
I think it's fine. He got rewarded for getting the stamina bar all the way down. Yo, thank you, Unseen Avenger, for renewing your membership for 6 months. We are just moving so steadily along, guys. Thank you so much for that support towards the weekly goal.
So
what I did just then was chose to hit his head, and generally speaking the options are whether you would like to do more damage or to receive more souls from the attack, which you could then absorb.
I like the choice of just I chose to hit his head. I think I would do the same.
やっぱ頭を攻撃するのはベストですね。自分もします。
本当ですか。そうですね。僕もまず頭を削ってダメージを取ろうとしてました。
Yeah, I definitely want to focus on hitting his head first, doing a bit more damage.
Nice.
ありがとうございます。
You make it look so easy, Nihei-san.
簡単に倒せるように見えますな。
いやいや、いくつかダメージ食らったんでちょっとドキドキしながら戦いました。
I'm not sure actually. I took a few hits there and I was worried for a moment.
No, you were absolutely fantastic. That was such a good demo. I really enjoyed seeing more about it. I was wondering if there's anything else you want to share about the game before we say goodbye.
すごく上手でしたね。もう楽しかったんですよ。他にお伝えしたいこととかありますでしょうか。
そうですね。先日新しい PV も出しましたので、そちらもぜひご覧いただければなと思うのと、ぜひウィッシュリストに登録してもらえたら嬉しいです。
Well, we actually released a new trailer yesterday, so we'd love it if you would all go and have a watch of that, and also if you would please add us to your wish list.
100%. Consider it done. Thank you so much for joining me today and having a look at that stunning look at Onimusha Way the Sword, which you can wish list today. From cutting down demons to raging against Ragnarok, stay with us for the latest from the mythic world of Mistfall Hunter, including new heroines, paths, and quest lines. We've got a trailer and a gameplay sneaky peeky coming up, followed by a closer look at world.
这些人们准备了一系列丰富的玩法内容和功能更新。接下来，请欣赏我们贝塔3测试的首支正式预告片。
Yeah, this looks like MMO survival game, like kind of a mixture. Like, it's hard to tell.
No, stop! I am no coward. I do not retreat. I am the commander of Brandagar. This fortress shall be your grave.
Yeah, guys in their 20s. What kind of video game are they gonna make? We knew that there was something special going on.
Fight! Fatality.
The freedom that we were given to create that game, in hindsight, was incredible.
Heat. What a bombshell when the team dropped their announcement and world premiere trailer on opening night live. And right now, the game's game director.
There are a few different examples of ability, like coaxial weapon, like Gatling gun right now, so it's pretty suitable to immobilize him. Yeah, and there is a really importance to introduce here, so we have a number of error correction, tactical error correction features like respawn, for example, or repair kit or another. And we definitely want to...
No, PlayStation does not typically go to Gamescom. They haven't gone for many years. They go to Tokyo Game Show, which is next month. And they do China Joy, which was a couple weeks ago.
Already in a battle. And of course the abilities like airstrike or different most...
I do have this special mystery box from Twitch that I would love to open and show you guys. Let's try to hit a milestone today, and I'll do it. I'll make you wait. If you guys get the sub member count to 400, though, I'll bust it open. We'll take a look at it.
So definitely it depends on the agent and the tanks selected. But if you are playing as a brawler, the game can provide this opportunity, and of course. We see the number of, on the screen right now, the number of different mechanics that we highlight, the status effects. So, and I am, as a player, have a lot of tactical depth, play together with friends of mine. And right now, this is an example of absolutely different gameplay. So the character called the Reaper, play more aggressively and, be on the front line of the battlefield and just trying to eliminate the targets, the really weak targets on the battlefield.
Just dishing out as much damage out as possible.
Yes.
YouTube didn't change your name. It's just showing your handle now. You can go to your profile settings and change the handle to whatever you want. So
World of Tanks Heat as well is you've built a new engine for it, right?
Yeah, correct.
So not just in the tank.
So because it's really important to bring this game to all platforms that we know. So this is a cross-platform application from scratch, and we really want to bring the great experience on PC and consoles as well, and handheld format, and provide opportunity to play in this game in any, let's say, environment that is comfortable with.
Yeah.
And it's really important to highlight that actually we add the cross-progression features to this game as well. So, for example, I can start playing this game on Steam Deck in the morning and continue on Xbox and evening. So, and all my tanks, all my models will be there.
All that progression going across as well. I've got to talk about the visuals of the game as well, because not only does it look amazing in the approach, I'd love to know how you've approached it. There's so much helpful information on screen as well.
Yeah, we're trying to keep the information as less as possible, but enough for newcomers and windbreakers. But of course, we have a lot of different mechanics we want to highlight and provide more necessary information, and in a way how the more mass audience, shooter audience, familiar with.
Yeah. We've seen a couple modes throughout this gameplay. What modes are players going to have in Heat?
Yeah, right now we are focusing to bring the great experience with the classical conquest, domination, kill confirm mods, and as well as experimenting with more round-based without respawns like Plant of the versus Defuse.
Nice. And what would you advise for someone hopping on? Because
Hey, Haseo says, let's get it, boys. Let's get that milestone. Gifts a member to 335. Increases YouTube's lead by a little bit there, 33 to 25. Many hands make light work. Also, guys, if you've been enjoying the coverage today, we already did our Hollow Knight Silksong reaction. Can we get 30 more likes on this video? It really does help out. Thank you so much for chilling and watching today and hanging out with the community.
And enough depth, to play one more time.
Yeah, what kind of tank's this? Because
it's modification. It was modification version of M60, and right now this is a HS TVL, more light version. And for example, the Kent with this machine can play more aggressively, more mobile, and find the weak spots in a enemy defense, for example.
It's so much faster than the other tanks.
Yeah, it's much.
I was going to say, that kind of helps to suit to different...
Yeah, Gwendolyn, I appreciate that. We actually knew that yesterday, that the handheld was coming on October the 16th. They kicked off the Xbox booth with that info yesterday.
Play styles, not only tanks, but light machines, for example, as SHTVL right now on the screen. and wheel-based, and even we highlighted in our announcement trail the railgun. So we try to be grounded as possible in 70%, but we add some alternative history elements here, so for 30%, and fantasize what if during this period of time this number of experiments in tech and engineering was in the battlefield.
And for anyone also wondering, right, where is Heat set? Like, what's the setting?
So this is, as I said, this is alternative reality post Second World War, and this is a world when humanity decided to invest a lot of effort and resources in tech and science, and we provide opportunity to player be a leader of a rapid response team. And
yo, thank you, Brandon, for the super chat. I forgot to set the super chat goal. Every 5 super chats I give back, I will gift a member. Thank you guys so much. Remember to check your renewals. You can also do direct tips with the tip command. Thank you very much.
We're opening that live.
And we've been skipping around just to give you guys gameplay so that you don't have to sit through interviews that don't tell us typically all that much. Looks like, yeah, we've got some of that going on. Looks like Xbox is doing a fan fest. Looks like Sarah Bond is hanging out with, we got Greenberg, Ronald, and I'm not sure who the rest of these people are, but they're doing a fan fest. Got a little cozy game here. Gather your friends. Okay, Wildekin. All right, what's the next game being featured? Oh, they're with Rare. All right, what are they talking about?
But apparently you guys did something a little bit different as well?
Oh, that's right. So, and I assume you're alluding to our blue plaque.
Yeah.
So, like, for those in the UK or those who visited the UK, blue plaques, like, are peppered across the country, and they're awarded by local authorities for, like, sites of historic, like, significance. So, like, someone famous could have been born there, something could have been created there, there could have been something, a big event happened there. But we were given one for Rare's 40th anniversary.
That's so cool.
So,
honestly.
in Ashby de la Zouch, which is a little market town right in the middle of the UK, about 20 minutes from Rare, it's kind of now based in Twycross, but about 20 minutes away, they've erected a blue plaque to celebrate where we're from. And I think it's just, like, it's a wonderful thing. Like, the fact that video games now are being recognised in the same way that Shakespeare was, or William Caxton, or, you know, like a battle, or it's like, it just, as somebody who grew up with video games, I never thought that would be a thing. So
Sneaky Platypus and Siriu both renewing over here on Purple, getting us to 337. Thanks for using your primes. Keep up the good work, Lono, and remember, Halo's the foundation of FPS shooters. I will fight you. It is now 27-33. Come on, Twitch. You guys can rally. Beat YouTube today. I got a little special package here from Twitch I want to show you guys. If you guys get us to 400, I'll do it early. Thank you so much for being here. I am going to skip ahead here and see if we can't get to some gameplay. This is just an interview with Rare that, I'll be honest, not all that interested in. Overwatch, I'm sorry, don't care. There's no footage anyway. Nothing revolutionary. What do we have here?
Look, I don't really. What the? I'll run. No warm up. Nobody cares if you're ready.
Sounds like the guy from Hi-Fi Rush.
Here, you won't make it out there. Exactly. Not ready. It should have been you. You're right. I've been carrying you for too long. What? I made things too easy for you. Seriously? I work harder than everyone! Yup. Sure you do. Hey! I'm just trying to prove I can be as good as you! So prove it!
Amran? You okay?
I'm
proud of you. I never want to hear you say you're not good enough again. Because I will literally fight you if you don't go.
We literally just fought. I'm gonna miss you, though.
Well, maybe not.
What? They invited you too? Put me through that! You kidding me? You could have burned me! You know how dangerous fire is! Stop laughing.
Oh, Aaron, that was sick! Oh my gosh, I love that. A new sibling dynamic that we get to check out. And let's head to the and
I'm the design director. At game, we just jump into things. So first
Outer
off,
Worlds 2.
let's go take a look at our companions. So our first companion is Niles. He's an Earth Directorate agent, so he's an agent just like you. He's really handy with a wrench, so he's got great engineering skills, and also he's got great ranged capabilities, so he's really good with range damage and whatnot. So we're going to use him like that in this demo. We also have Tristan. So Tristan is a part of the Protectorate. He's an Arbiter. You can kind of think of him like a Judge Dredd type character. We're going to use him as a tank. You can see he's got big heavy armor, he's got a big hammer that he uses, and again, he's gonna be great as a melee tank for us. You know, before we actually go ahead and get started, why don't we take a look at our character real quickly? All right, so yeah, let's just take a look at our skills really fast. So yeah, you can see here, so we've got pretty good guns, we have decent sneak, so we're gonna be using that in a few different places. Also, we've got lockpick. This is gonna be very important because we're gonna get into a lot of different areas. Engineering, hack, also great things for using interactions inside of the tomb. And maybe the most important thing is observation, and I'll explain why in a bit. So why don't we head over and look at our inventory real fast. All right, so the first piece you have is the Scrutinizer's eyepiece. This one comes with a grenade bandolier that gives you an extra grenade slot, but the cool thing about this is that strong enemies get weak sooner, so basically gets them into the weak state much faster. And that also scales with your observation skill, important from what we showed you a little bit earlier as well. Why don't we go down into the heavy hitter? Yeah, so we have the heavy hitter armor. This is just good all-around armor that has a lot of damage resistance. It's going to be very useful in the combats that we have ahead. Let's go to our weapons. Heavy revolver. This is just a normal heavy revolver, but we've modded it with a silencer. Again, really good for sneak attacks, for sneaking around and stealth. We also put a prism sight on it, which increases weak spot damage. So if Matt hits the headshots, which we'll see if that actually happens, that should actually do a good amount of damage. Let's jump over to the assault rifle. So we have a compact assault rifle. This one has a reflex sight. Again, this is great for critical hits, so it adds critical hit chance. Also reduces recoil, so really good for actual ranged combat. And then lastly, we've got the antimatter plasma sniper. So this one just does a ton of damage per shot. We've added the advanced energy modulator onto it, which reduces ammo cost. So that's just gonna give us more shots that we can use. So yeah, why don't we go ahead and jump on into the demo. So real quickly, we're going to be heading into the Tomb of the Matriarch. So the reason you're going into the Tomb of the Matriarch is you're actually trying to get into a high security facility elsewhere on Praetor, the world that you're on right now. There's a secret entrance in the Tomb of the Matriarch itself, so we're heading into the tomb. The tomb is a pretty interesting place. Not only is it the resting place for the Matriarch, kind of like a god figure for the Protectorate, but it's also kind of almost like a museum. You get a lot of really cool lore elements in there as well, so we're going to see a lot of that as we play through. Yep, so you can see there it's guarded pretty heavily.
Zubair says, I need to get a heart CT scan. They said no caffeine for 24 hours. Everyone in Baltimore County will be in mortal danger.
I'm hidden in the shadows right now, and one thing I'm going to do is I'm actually going to equip...
this is the Outer Worlds 2.
Gadget. So in the Outer Worlds 2, you have a number of different gadgets you can play with. This is actually a returning favorite from the first game where you can slow down time. I'm going to do a stealth attack on this guy, and then I'm going to go to town. Oh! Oh, well, he's missing his head. All right, let's see if we can get in there. One of Matt's favorites. Are you going to be able to shoot it? All right, he had to slow down time to shoot it though, folks. That's what it's there for. And you can see Tristan's jumping right in there as well. You can take on that melee guy. Okay. Yeah, well, you missed that.
Am I the only one that is... I'm kind of tired of that, like, get the gun out and, like, okay, no, they're not doing that every time. I was like, every time they got a gun out, they did, like, a little animation. Like, you don't need to do that, man. Just let me get the gun out. You know, maybe that they had not gotten the guns out yet. Maybe when you get them out the very first time they do that. I was like, dude, if every time I get my gun out, you got to have a little flourish, that's going to get old really fast.
Gotta get that loot.
Gotta get the loot. Truly gotta get the loot.
Oh, yeah.
All right, let's head on in. All right, so here's the Tomb of the Matriarch. Beautiful. You can see here, the first thing we see is the Golden Shroud. So the Golden Shroud is a piece of armor that the Sovereigns wear in the Arcadia colony. So this one's under lock and key. But it looks like if we can find the Golden Shroud key, display key, excuse me, we can go and pick that up. So we'll go look for that as we head around the facility looking for the entrance to the other high security facility.
Whoa, to have the matriarch taken from us before her time.
Actually, the matriarch passed at the impressive and venerable age of 90, establishing Arcadia's precedent for longevity.
90? So young! Imagine what glorious inventions she could have conceived of with only a handful more years.
All right, so there we can see we have a docent, we have a sentinel that's mourning the matriarch. Looks like we have a panel over there. Why don't we put on our N-ray scanner and take a look through the walls real quick?
Oh yeah, that's another really cool gadget we've got.
Yeah, so the N-ray scanner is pretty cool. Yeah, so you can see through the walls, so you can actually see some of the wiring that's going on. It makes it really nice when you want to see how everything is connected. So there you can see that panel looks like it's controlling the security system for the tomb room. So I bet you if we interact with that, we can maybe interact with the security system. Yeah, so unfortunately, the way to actually interact with it right now, Hack 9, is a little too high for us. But we do have...
Yeah, Wiggle Man, I don't think anybody's being condescending. Like, you literally typed this and you're not being ironic. You said, I want my fantasy world in gaming to be mighty, strong, competent men saving distressed and in-need damsel from warlords and dragons like the good old days. Homie, you're typing and it sounds like satire. I don't know what exactly you expect people to do to respond to that. Like, what you typed is... It literally sounds like the script of a satirical video. I don't know what you want from us at all. It's really hard to take that seriously. It seems like you're just baiting, like you just want engagement. So you're saying things that are like very, very canned and ridiculous. He called us betas. Yeah, anybody that uses the term beta male is probably the thing they're claiming other people are.
May art and science...
Like, anybody who's walking around talking about chads and beta males and they're not being ironic, like, I can't, the lack of self-awareness is just, whew, it's staggering.
All right, very cool. Why don't we take a look into the next...
This is what happened the last time I was avidly watching you. What, you said something absolutely ridiculous and didn't get a positive response? I'm out. Sorry, we don't deal in that here. You're not going to get a whole lot of traction here. Like, everybody here is pretty even keel and mature, and the stuff you said literally felt and read like satire. I gave my opinions. Yes, and I'm trying to give you my opinion. What's the matter with our opinion? Your opinion was just read out loud, and it read like satire, homie. Like, what do you want? We're giving you a response, you know? Would you expect us to clap? Like, is that what you expected? Did you expecting, like, a standing ovation for saying, like, you want mighty, competent men rescuing damsels from dragons? Like, what did you expect as a response to that? I don't know what to tell you.
Pathing obstructed. Rerouting. Error. Reroute.
This area is not...
Yeah, so it looks like we're distracting all the auto mechanicals right now. So while that's happening, why don't we head off to the side?
Chat's going in on him. Chat's going in on him. They're like, got a negative response and started crying and leaving like a beta. Yeah, it doesn't seem very valiant and mighty, does he? Like I said, folks that throw around those terms are usually extremely ironic in the fact that they're usually, pretty soft. Thank you so much, Rain Ruin, for 2 months using your Prime sub here, getting us to 338. Appreciate it so much. That'd be a little nudge to a 10-bomb dunker. We'll see if anybody will take it. Thank you so much.
Stealth by these guys.
Yeah, let's get out of here while they're still distracted. All right, and we'll head back to the main room. Picking that up as well, obviously.
You think you'll ever have a chat that is drama-free? I wouldn't consider this to be drama, brother. We're having fun. Nobody's taking it that serious. I mean, I don't take any of the commentary from those YouTubers serious that talk in these ways, that say that like every game is woke and that they want to be a Chad or they want to be an alpha and women want to be rescued. I can't, bro. It's so satirical. It's so unintentionally satirical. Like I can't even deal. I just have to laugh at it at this point.
And that, my friends, is why you always listen to me. That's bad for them. But why don't we go down there and make his day a little bit worse? Guaranteed he has something nice for us. Looks like there's still...
Yeah, we got another one. I loved playing as Lara Croft back in the day when she wasn't built like a 10-year-old boy. What game are you referring to where she's built like a 10-year-old boy, and why are you familiar with the build of a 10-year-old boy? FBI, open up.
That's a pretty nasty headshot. All right. What do we got here? Oh, see, we got the Golden Shroud display key. That's exactly what we were looking for.
Nice.
And she had some armor. Why don't we take a look at this tomb, though? This is the actual casket of the matriarch, so an extremely important figure. Lucky for us, I think we already activated the security system, so I think we can just open it right up.
Nice.
And there you go, we have the remains of the matriarch. Why don't we defile the honor of the matriarch, the most important person to the protectorate, folks?
It looks like the remains are worth a lot.
We're gonna definitely sell those. I don't know who's gonna buy them, but they're worth a lot.
The new Laura isn't the Laura I remember. I'm not sure what you're talking about. We haven't seen the new game yet. I'm not sure what you're referring
Just in case
to.
we get into combat, I'm actually gonna equip my shield gadget.
Like if you're referring to the reboot, she was amazing. She was actually, I think, very attractive. Just arguably a beautiful character. I'm not sure if you're referring to the new game. We haven't seen anything official yet, other than like that concept art.
Through it. That's where you can see he's overcharged. Yeah, and he took out. Yeah, he already took out Tristan really fast. He's taking you out as well. Did you get him? All right, cool. All right.
Okay, I'll say this shooting looks better. This shooting looks better than the first couple outings they showed us. I actually think this looks better than I was currently thinking up to this point.
Oh, that looks sick.
All right, so we unlocked that with lockpick. Yeah, now that's a pretty nice looking weapon. Let's use that later. Grab the helmet. Again, I'm sure a priceless protectorate artifact.
It's over here.
That looks like a pitchball card or a tossball card.
Nice.
So these are pretty cool. You can actually collect these, and if you collect enough of them, you get a cool reward later on if you find the quest.
It looks like that one gave me some extra health too.
Yeah, I think you're going to need that. I've seen how you play.
Yeah, Insomniac Black and Incredible Black. Apparently, Alex thinks you guys look the same. Sorry about that. You know how we be sometimes. You can't hold it against him.
So yeah, here's the Golden Shroud, and we have the key. Let's open it up. All right. Now go ahead and loot it, and then let's take a look at that.
Yeah, this one's actually really cool. It gives you damage resistance. That actually scales with your speech, but it'll cost you bits each time you take damage. So it's costly, but it can be really effective.
Yeah?
Pretty good for a Monarch.
I think pretty good for a Monarch. They can afford it. All right, let's look for that secret exit.
My skepticism about Outer Worlds 2 was based off of the early showings. It just didn't look very good. This looks so much better today because you want to know why? I think we're just getting raw gameplay. We're not getting some weird prepackaged thing with screen tearing like we had from IGN,
Secret entrance to the top secret facility.
Nice.
All right.
Where's
Yeah,
this go?
yeah, there you go. It looks like that heads to the facility.
We most certainly can't hold it against them. You're just trying to divide us, Zubair. You know, you're just you're just trying to perpetuate division. You know what I'm saying? It sounds pretty toxic, if you want my honest opinion. All right, let's see what we got gameplay here. Silent Hill F. Talkie, lots of talking. What do we have here? Oh, we already saw this trailer. This is Valor. What is this? Valor Mortis? Is that what this is called? Yeah, a lot of talking here. Okay, here we go. We might have something.
I think that what kills the genre is the stagnation, and in Valor Mortis we would like to push it forward, to push it for something new, something fresh. Breath air for Souls-likes.
Absolutely. I mean, that makes sense. It does look very brutal, so I'm a little bit excited and also very apprehensive to try and take a bullet to the face, but I'm sure it'll be great. Now, the setting of Valor Mortis kind of reimagines a particularly brutal chapter of history set during the Napoleonic Wars as well. Can you tell us?
Witness of some nightmarish things that are happening during the war. You play as a soldier, as a young British soldier who joined the Napoleon because of the ideals that stood that Napoleon stood for, and quite fast our hero needs to reconsider his actions and his approach there, because there is this thing that this corruption is also touching our hero and changes him quite a bit, to be honest.
Yeah, it looked like it. Let's talk a little bit about that, because we saw some fleshy lumps and maybe some deadly mutants, and I don't think history actually included those in the Napoleonic Wars, but Valor Mortis certainly does. So can you tell us a little bit about the source of these antique abominations?
That's right. So the source of it is called neptoglobin. It's this enigmatic essence, almost living essence that is consuming the world from the inside. And Napoleonic forces encountered this essence when they were pushing east, basically. So it works like that. When it touches anything, like when it touches the human being, like the soldier, for example, they are turned into some fanatical monsters. The animals can be also turned into some twisted predators, and the ground itself is also diseased somehow. So you are fighting not only against the enemy, you are fighting against this force that is changing the world here.
Got you. Within yourself and all around you as well. That's crazy. I mean, in some of the
been with. It's full of content that we know people know and love. We're introducing 4 new variant civilizations, 8 maps, which are a mix of kind of very competitive focused and authentic.
I also can't pretend I didn't see you crying in there!
With the greatest roster of heroes and villains to ever clash, are you ready for one last smash?
To protect everyone!
Pause. Are you ready for one last smash, y'all?
I can do it now!
Okay, let's go.
Let's go all out!
Enter the fray in teams of 3. Victory is achieved when you eliminate all 3 members of the opposing team. Freely switch between characters. Strategic character switching can counter your opponents and create new opportunities for you. Time your switch commands correctly during attack combos to seamlessly swap characters and continue the assault. Switching characters while guarding can be a highly effective tactic to turn defense into offense. With normal controls, even beginners can pull off impressive combos with simplified controls.
Destroy everything, that's all.
Master the 4 core actions: target combo, counterattack, guard, and unblockable attack to dominate the battlefield. Combat is a battle of wits, quirks, and timing. Outsmart your opponent and target openings to unleash devastating combos. If your opponent gets the upper hand, use evade action or counter crash to escape from danger.
Burn down to the very bones! You can't stop this!
Experience a diverse range of quirk skills only possible in My Hero Academia. Mix and match your team's 3 quirks to find synergies and add depth to your tactics and strategies. Unleash the devastating power of Plus Ultra moves. If you coordinate your abilities, you can unleash a collaborative Plus Ultra combo with all 3 characters. Forge a devastating technique where quirks collide, guaranteeing massive damage.
We'll blast through to your main body! Come on, guys!
Fill your gauge to activate a character enhancement, rising during battle. While active, your attack power, movement speed, and recovery speed are all enhanced for you to gain momentum. Plus, if you're down to your last character, you'll automatically start in rising state. It's the ultimate card for turning the tables when you're cornered, allowing you to snatch victory from the brink of defeat. All the power you've built up, all the justice you hold, everything is finally here. Experience the true potential of each character's quirk in its final form.
You're not going anywhere. I'll fill you full of holes! Whatever it takes! I won't let anyone be hurt again! Smash!
My Hero Academia, all's justice. Wishlist now.
Well, that was a look at the battle system in My Hero Academia, All's Justice. And before that, we got lovely
around you might make you feel like to put
anyway, I think.
All right, High on Life 2, here we go.
So the stuff that's happening around you might much personality into the
I just appreciate that these guys look like they could be in the game, right? They look great. I love it. I love the vibe.
That's right. Do you guys prefer being the antagonist or protagonist day-to-day gaming stuff? What do you think out of those kind of storylines?
I mean, it's all made up anyway, I think. So it's kind of like maybe that's an antagonist behavior, right? It's like the rules mean nothing, right?
Yeah.
You know?
We very specifically try not to put much personality into the character at all. So the stuff that's happening around you might make you feel like you're the antagonist or the protagonist, but really how you feel when you're playing, you're not being told how to feel, right? You're just feeling it yourself. Very quiet. It's very Half-Life 2, you know, the whole like stoic Gordon, like non-speaking character, and that way the guns are kind of like your conscience, and depending on which one you have out, they're kind of playing as the protagonist or the antagonist. And so it's really down to you yourself how you feel.
We'll definitely get into the Gatlians in a bit, but I want to talk about something that's a bit new, because lately in gaming we've kind of been going through this skateboarding renaissance period, and High on Life 2 is getting involved in the action. So how mad can we really get with this thing?
It is core to the game. It's replaced our sprint. So initially we had it as like a power-up, and we found it so fun that we kept saying, well, what if we used it here? What if we used it here? And we kept going to the point where we were like, let's just replace sprint with it. And doing that meant we had to really polish it and make it feel fluid. And so once we got that right, it's like, I can't imagine the game without it now. I can't believe we had a game that didn't have the skateboarding in it. It's so perfect. It's great.
Yeah, our design director, Eric, he went back and played the first game, and he was like, it's like moving through molasses. You know?
It's a really cool addition, and you know, we're going to keep tuning it till the game comes out, but I feel like it's already in a really fun space.
Awesome. Let's talk about the Gatlians a bit then. Who's going to be back in the game, and are we going to get some new friends as well?
Absolutely, yeah. We're almost all of the original from the first game are back. So we got Sweezy, we got Gus. You'll see them in the demo. Sweezy played by Betsy Sidaro, Gus played by JB Smooth, the Inimitable, right? And you're also getting a new gun in the demo whose name is Sheath, and he's played by
Ralph Einstein. I heard
Ralph
him say
Innocent?
No way.
Ralph Einstein. That's how
Ralph
he says
Einstein.
it.
He says it like that?
He says it like that?
Oh, I have said it to his face incorrectly.
We had
That's probably why I hate
we had a big debate about it, and then we looked it up, and our producer Bex was like, no, it's Einstein. Arbex.
Not you.
But yeah, so that there, that's Ralph Einstein.
No way. What an icon.
I know.
His voice is, he's so funny too.
If anyone was going to be a knife, his voice embodies it.
He's a battle rifle. He's basically like battle rifle from Halo. And in the demo, you'll see that he's not a Gatlian. What's happening there is you actually pretty much kill him in a boss fight, and he has the same target that you're pursuing. So he tells you how to save his head. And so his gun is like a life support system. And there's a whole scene where you're performing surgery to remove his head and attach it to his gun. It's in the demo.
That sounds sick.
That's,
Not in the demo, but like Preacher Tim Robinson is also back. Knife,
Yeah, we just recorded some Tim last week. It was amazing. I love him to death.
Can you please tell him how much I love him?
I will tell him.
I will use this opportunity. I freaking love. I think you should leave.
The sweetest
obviously,
man. He's just a wonderful man. Yeah,
you stop that. I am so jealous. Can I become producer Bex with you guys? Okay, we'll swap places.
No, we've got a job to do here. Come on.
Okay, fine. Well, I do have one more suggestion, maybe for a new gun. Have you guys ever thought of like a chainsaw thing? Because I could do it for you if you want to go like.
We actually in our DLC we had a knifey focused DLC, and one of the first things that we did in it is give him a chainsaw.
Hell yeah.
So he's basically a chainsaw knife, and you could even use the chainsaw to sort of climb walls and stuff. I don't know if you guys ever played Duck Game, but you know, you can use the chainsaw to kind of ride up walls.
Yeah.
We had that in the DLC, so we had all these weird little paths you could ride around.
I need to go back and check it out.
Yeah.
It was like an early iteration of the skateboard, right? As soon as we started moving fast like that, I feel like you guys were like, oh, we got to get a skateboard.
Yeah, the skateboard is like next level chainsaw riding.
Very cool.
That sounds sick. We touched on it a tiny bit, but let's talk about boss fights, please. I mean, we've got a little bit of something that you kind of talked about there, and we might have showed it off, but can we talk about, or can we maybe see what you were just talking about? Let's take a look, shall we?
Yes.
It's from the inside.
Control yourself. What's gotten into you?
You never catch me. I'm inside you. This is very...
Oh my God, thank you so much. Okay, we gotta stop Muppy Doo. He's in your inventory. Let me fix this up real quick so you can go after him.
I got free reign of your suit.
Oh no, Muppy Doo went into your inventory. Follow him quick. Oh man, he messed things up pretty bad already. He can't navigate the menus like normal anymore. Hey, here, use me. Pseudo time. I can be a weapon too. Punch out, Pseudo. Let's fuck shit up. Come on, he's in the inventory. He's getting his nasty hands all over all our precious stuff. You gotta squish him or something.
I'm touching all the circuitry in here. What are you gonna do about it? Ow! Leave Morphy alone, please.
Ow! Come on! Hit Muppy, not me! Ow!
Ow! Leave me alone! Ha ha! Try harder.
Ouch! Ouch! How am I getting hurt? Is this really me?
God damn it!
Just make it stop! Make it...
Ow! All right, fine. Fine, I'm done here anyway. I'll mess up the stuff that really matters. Yoo-hoo!
Oh no, he went into the system tab. That's the worst place he could have gone. We have to stop him.
You'll never stop the mighty Muppy! Ow! Stop it! All right, fine. Gotta find a new spot.
Funny stuff in here where you can accidentally punch stuff. You can get knocked out of the menu or change settings accidentally. It's really funny.
So meta. I love it. Oh my gosh.
So good.
It's not the best part yet, though.
Yeah.
Look at this.
I heard you guys haven't seen it yet, so.
Yeah, it's very cool, honestly. I don't know how you guys get much done with like all the voice talent you get access to. Like, it's just like a who's who of all the funniest people, like in gaming, in animation, and everything. It's so sick.
Richard Kind's performance is just incredible.
Yeah,
like,
Richard Kind, amazing. So here you can see
oh no,
Muppy Doo has broken into your BIOS, and so you're chasing him down into the BIOS of your suit. And so there's some of Pseudo's fan fiction he was working on.
I'm like, maybe we should pause it and just do like a dramatic reading.
Yeah, I really wanted to, please.
So
this is Henry and I's audition for Gaiden.
Come on.
So here he is messing with some of your sliders to make your bullet damage less, or changing the composition of your oxygen. And you have to kind of hit him with the slider.
This is one of my favorite right here, where he jumps on it. This is like
where he rides it.
When he rides it, right there.
It's so cute yet so annoying at the same time. Like, come on, just stop. But also pretty funny.
So if you saw in that build up there, Muppy has this shrinking technology, and so he has this fanny pack on, and it's full of his like Secret Service agents.
Right.
And so in the fight just before this, he's throwing handfuls of Secret Service at you to fight, and then you beat him, and he runs up your arm and into your suit. And so that's what's happening here. So now he's forcing you to reset all your suit settings. And there's no way around it.
Watching people play the game this week where they're like, they actually are like, should I? Like, do I?
Yeah.
Like, is this for real? You know?
Oh my god.
That's so fun.
So you're the one that actually has to make that choice as well. It's not like staged. Oh,
And
you
so
guys are sick.
He's like doing a deep dive into your BIOS to the point where he's found something else, and that's what you're about to see here.
Okay, cool.
Ooh.
Let's see.
Very exciting.
Wait, BibleAdventures.rom? Wait. No. No.
Oh, yes.
You are kidding me.
Fully playable, all 3.
Oh my god.
You are joking. Bible Adventures game inside the game.
You know,
game in the game.
We had the movies in the first one. We were like, what do we do next?
Dude, I
right?
played this game. I played this game when I was a kid. We had it. We had the cartridge. It had glitches and stuff. It had stuff that didn't work. This is hysterical that they put this deck of. Yeah, you had to go and there was a Noah's Ark one where you had to like collect the animals. Yeah, Lono's moment has arrived. Yeah, this is it. This is it. I'll probably be critical of the accuracy to the original stories, but we'll see. No, we had these games, and the one cartridge I think was like a sky blue. And buddy, they were glitchy. So this one, I believe you're playing as David, and you're trying to rescue the sheep. And I don't know why there are squirrels everywhere. I don't know if they were indigenous to the area at the time, but yeah, he's going to get the sheep away from the lion, and there they go. They got away. So excellent work there.
And he found it, he got it, and here it is, and it actually, like, it's amazing. I feel so lucky to have the team that we have that I can say I want Bible Adventures, and we get Bible Adventures.
I'm going to tear up. I'm so happy for
it's
you.
So
Your
cool.
dream realized.
Living the dream, I know.
I am, but I also think we need to get you some bigger dreams than Bible Adventures.
No, there is no
we'll
bigger dream. What are you talking about? A terrible video game based on the Bible is like the best thing I've ever heard in my life. It's so
painful
funny, and it sucks to play. It sucks so bad to play. It's great.
Amazing.
And so now you can see here, you make it back in your suit.
Oh,
and
God.
it's trying to boot up. And all the only assets that Pseudo could put together for you to help visualize where Muppy is in your suit, he pulled some sprites out of the Bible Adventure game. And so now you'll see on the bottom row there, Muppy is trying to get up to Pseudo, who's up there at the top.
Oh, yeah.
And so Knifey, of course, is really excited because he just loves stabbing everything. And so he pitches the idea that
I will say they're about to overstay their welcome with this gimmick. Like if I was playing through the game, I'd be like, okay, it's time to move on from this gimmick and get back to normal gameplay. Like they're right here testing the boundaries of how long you should do something like this. It's getting a little bit on the long side here.
That one you don't have a choice. He pitches the idea and you're like, I guess you just got to do it.
Gotta go with it.
Yeah.
It's very funny. And this is the end of the demo here. After this, you know, not to spoil it, you stab yourself to the point where you're not, I don't want to say dead, but you're hurt.
You're not in a good way.
You're not in a good way. And that's the way we try to end all of these, in an unexpected way where the player kind of loses but doesn't really lose.
Yep.
And so we kind of have this recurring theme of you just getting your butt kicked. I don't know what you can say on here, but yeah, like you're not this perfect character, right? You make mistakes, you do stupid stuff, and I think it's really cool.
Yeah, like stab yourself in the face.
Like stab yourself in the face to fight a little guy.
Yeah.
I
think it's definitely the first game ever to try and do that to me. So
yeah,
you're setting records at least.
And in the demo too, I don't know if many people have found it yet, but there's an area called MurderCon where it's kind of like a laser tag arena. Right before you go in there, there's a Radical Rex arcade cabinet where you can fully play. I don't know if you guys remember the old skateboarding game, Radical Rex, like a little dinosaur on a skateboard.
Oh my God, no.
Also very hard to play, but it's in there and it's really funny.
Way.
Yeah.
I'm into it. Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah, that's right up your alley.
Dangerfield, I tell you, I don't get no respect.
This is one of Brian's animations. It's really funny.
Yeah, let's check it out.
Yeah, let's have a look.
The Dangerfields are ready to debate. I tell you, I'm Rodney Dangerfield. I tell you, I don't get no respect.
Hey, don't listen to him. I'm Rodney Dangerfield. Hey, give him some respect.
Yeah, I should get some respect because I don't get none. Because this guy over here is claiming to be me, Rodney Dangerfield.
Hey, you know I'm the real Rodney Dangerfield because I don't want no respect. I'd be nothing with respect.
This fraud over here doesn't get it. He thinks we don't want respect. Rodney Dangerfield does want respect, and he's mad because he don't get none.
All right, if you think Rodney Dangerfield doesn't want respect, so we can continue in the spirit of Rodney Dangerfield, vote for me, the real Rodney Dangerfield.
Vote for me in the upcoming election for Best Dangerfield.
Take the shot. Blow his brains out. He's the fake Rodney
Shoot
Dangerfield.
me, not him. I'm the real Rodney
Shoot me, because I get no respect.
No, shoot me, because I'm the real Rodney Dangerfield.
Hey, which one of you guys is the real Rodney Dangerfield?
Oh, I tell you. I tell you this one. Oh, I tell you. I tell you.
So that's the caliber of comedy we can expect.
What the hell's wrong with you guys?
So much.
That's the highest praise, honestly.
Yeah.
That wasn't funny. Like, not even like a little bit. It never. There wasn't a single moment of that was funny. This game is funny. High on Life is funny. I don't know what that was. That was not funny.
Perfect.
Like you said, being in that writer's room, just seeing, like, how do you even know what's the good stuff, what fits, when it is all just kind of zany and out there, and you'd think, like, just chuck it all in.
I don't think they know.
A lot of us,
I think that's one of the problems with this type of humor is you need somebody in the room who's not like giggling and chuckling at everything you spit out. Like, you need somebody in the room to be like, no, that wasn't funny. Don't do that. Because that was so not it. That was bad.
Like, that's great. And we don't really stop until everybody is invested, because they then have to go and actually put it on paper, cast the people to do it, and if they're not on board, then it's not going to be funny, right? So we just kind of jam in a room with terrible ideas, and the writers are so funny that they can make anything work, right? So, like, two Dangerfields, like, and honestly, that's just in the background. It's not even a major thing. There's so many of those, and people are going to be finding stuff forever in this game.
Yeah, it's really hard because, we get so close to the jokes too, and like, you hear a joke like twice and you're like, ugh, like, come on, this isn't funny anymore. And so, like, even coming here, we're like watching people laugh and we're like, oh, before we were like, we're the worst, we're not good at this, and now we're like, we're geniuses.
We planned this the whole time.
Yeah.
Great ego boost.
Hell yeah. It's just a lot of trust in the team. Let them do their thing, because, I'm not the best writer. I'm not the best programmer, right? So I'm not going to even try. It's like, just let the writers do their thing. We're going to jam about an idea. Writers are going to do it way better than I could, and then it's funnier. It's better than anything I was picturing in my head. So, and a lot of even gameplay concepts come from writers in that room, and then we end up turning them into like a feature in the game. Like, I'm pretty sure that Muppy-Doo fight in the UI was just a random joke we had in a writer's room that ended up turning into a real thing.
Yeah, so cool. We have a lot of the same talent too that stayed on from High on Life 1, so everybody gets it, right? We know what we're building. Now it's just like, keep going.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, and in terms of like the caliber of our writers, you're a Tim Robinson fan, so you probably saw the little egg game. So our narrative director is the one who made that game. He's the guy who made the Tim Robinson from I Think You Should Leave a Little Egg game. So like that vibe of like little weird stupid games, that's like everywhere in the game. Yeah. That's kind of just the DNA of everything that we do.
I can't wait to find all of the little hidden pieces like you
Good
say,
luck.
and watch all of the ads. I'll take that challenge.
I'm going to have to block out a lot of time to do all of that.
Yeah.
Right, enough yapping though. It's time for our favorite question, Bex. When can we play this game?
Friday the 13th.
Friday the 13th.
February.
Of what year? 2026.
Excellent.
No, just kidding. We're not going to slip.
Yeah, he's like,
we're not
7,
gonna
8,
slip.
9, 10.
Yeah, I think we're caught up to live. I can't skip ahead anymore. Yeah, I can't skip ahead anymore. We've run out. We've run out of ground, boys. we're stuck. So if you've got trailers and things we haven't seen, feel free to throw them in the Discord. And yeah, because we are now going to be dealing with like lack of gameplay, interviews, commercials, things like that, things we were skipping past.
Afraid of snakes so hard, he eats them for breakfast.
Why'd you defect?
I didn't. I'm loyal to the end, to my purpose.
Snake, I know how you're feeling. It's hard for me to believe, too, that a legendary hero like the boss would go over to the Russians. She'd double-cross us like this.
We will use the legacy to heal that rift and make the world whole again. To do this, we need strength, an unstoppable trump card with enough power to bring order to the world.
Do you love her?
No, nothing like that.
Do you hate her?
For 10 years, we lived and died together. You couldn't possibly understand.
And you think you can kill her now?
Hey, don't you go getting any funny ideas.
We can't leave yet. I've still got one last job to do.
She's at the lake. She's waiting for you there.
We were together for 10 years, and now you tell me she's my enemy.
What about you, Jack? What's it going to be? Loyalty to your country or loyalty to me? Your country or your old mentor? The mission or your beliefs? Your duty to your unit or your personal feelings? You don't know the truth yet. But sooner or later you'll have to choose. I don't expect you to forgive me.
You've got to do it, Snake. She's your enemy and your objective.
You're a soldier. Finish your mission. Prove your loyalty. I've been waiting, Snake. Waiting for your birth, your growth, and the finality of today.
Oh, I can hardly believe it, guys. It's another Gamescom done.
Boo! I want it to be forever.
There's always so much going on at these things. What was everyone's favourite bit? Charlie?
Ooh, I'm going to say Age of Empires. It's always Age of Empires and will continue forever be Age of Empires if I can have it that way. Benny, what about you?
I've got to go with World of Warcraft. Like, as a 14-year-old, I was playing that game 12 hours a day, and getting to do that on this stage was amazing.
That kind of worked. We ran out of being able to fast forward, and they're done.
Much fun, but Henry, come on, High on Life 2 was so good. That was wild. Guys are mental. It was great. What about you, Henry, though?
Obviously it's getting some demo time with the ROG Xbox Ally. I mean, it looks so good. Such a sleek device. It just performs so quickly.
I mean, Gamescom goes for 3 more days, but I don't think coverage continues because it's basically just people at the event walking around doing stuff. I think generally there's not much left for us to look at or watch. I could be wrong, but I think this is pretty much the end. I mean, IGN and other outlets will continue to maybe do interviews and upload trailers and stuff.
Wait, and Onimusha Way of the Sword, Ninja Gaiden 4, and that was just today. Oh my gosh, yesterday we had a new Indiana Jones expansion, more on double.
Yeah, I'm gonna call it there. We don't need to hear from them anymore. So we were kind of flying by the seat of our pants today. We had, obviously a great stream already with the Hollow Knight thing, and then this was just thrown together. I just made a thumbnail and was like, we'll just kind of cover whatever's going on. If there's trailers that you guys feel like we missed, we could obviously check them out. If not, what's in the box this year? I'm going to make you guys wait. I'm going to make you wait. We'll see if you can unlock Friday night, and I'll open it that night with Madam to celebrate. I mean, I'll do it today, but I said that you guys would have to hit 400, so you're going to need to get big. You need like 60-something members to get there, so both Twitch and YouTube can contribute with gifts and renewals. And looks like Stone Spire is going to try something here. He's going to try and stoke the fires. He does a single. He's probably going to do 2 singles, hoping for a 10-bomb dunker to 350. Whoever hits 350 gets the next gifted member. Streamers will show gameplay. Not sure. All right, well, Stone Spire's doing his part. He is doing his part. He's contributing. He's trying to bait somebody to do the 10-bomb to 350. You know, maybe we do that and manifest a 50 bomb all the way to 400. We'll see. We'll see if any of the big boys are lurking in the shadows today. We've done a ton of coverage. We did opening night live. We did Xbox yesterday. We did the Silksong reaction. We did future game show. And then we just did kind of our own thrown together coverage where we just sort of fast forwarded through the Xbox booth that they had going. So, yep. I don't know. We could check IGN. We could check some of the other outlets and just see if they have like a bunch of trailers. Sometimes just going to like IGN or the PlayStation channel on YouTube is useful. $2 from Ye did that. Yay Jay did that. Are we going to get any PlayStation Blade Zero update? They did an interview yesterday. Yeah. They did an interview yesterday and showed off gameplay. It was actually pretty cool. Let's see here if there's any trailers that we missed out on. There's 13 minutes of Directive 8020, the game that got delayed to next year. There's 13 minutes of that. That is a like a Dark Pictures game. Silent Hill F. Nothing new from Silent Hill F. Nothing new from Silent Hill F. They did an interview, but it was all footage that we had seen before. Outer Worlds 2, My Hero Academia, dev interview with Rare. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything new on IGN either. Kind of running out of stuff. I tell you what, you guys, if you feel like going crazy while I take a quick break, go crazy. Maybe we'll extend and we'll open up this box, but we're gonna need to do that if we're gonna continue, because like I said, we're kind of running out of gas, we're running out of things to look at and talk about, and I don't want to belabor it. So give me 1 second. All right, I'm back. Headline's misleading. It's still a Sony-owned company. It's removing SIE involvement. It's as if they sold it to another company they own back. Yeah, they own the company. I don't understand what Sony's doing with the whole Evo situation. I wonder if it has to do with Marvel Tokone Fighting Souls. Like, is there some type of conflict of interest or something where they need to remove their direct involvement with Evo? You know what I mean? I wonder. The whole thing feels very strange. What situation? So, SIE, Sony Interactive Entertainment, has sold their stake at EVO, the Championship Series fighting game tournament event, to Nodwin Gaming, an India-based esports group. Also, that's a Sony-backed company. So they sold their stake in EVO to a Sony-backed company. I don't understand. I believe they own a stake in Nodwin. Is the console war over with all the posts about no more exclusive games? The people that are talking about no more exclusive games are literally just parroting Microsoft PR and marketing. There is no evidence that there'll be no more exclusives. I posted the following about this. I think the narrative about this is just going to continue to look dumber and dumber with time. These people are not speaking with authority or analysis. They're speaking from a position of they have a stake passively or directly in staying in good with Microsoft. It affords them great opportunities, and so they continue to parrot Microsoft's marketing. They're not saying something they truly believe. Deep brought Galactic Survivor explaining why it will come to other platforms later. Another developer adding helpful insight into why multi-platform isn't a simple flip of a switch, which makes many predictions about the future of gaming lacking exclusives and games being everywhere so ignorant. Okay, now listen to what this guy says. We are really excited for the opportunity to be part of Game Pass, and while we wish we could be going out on everything all at once, there is a lot of work in multi-platform, not just development and compliance, but a lot of business development before that. Each new platform multiplies the complexity of the core project and slows feature development if you can even be allowed on that platform. I have talked about this so many times, how this pipe dream utopia about how like, oh, everything's going to be everywhere, exclusives are going away, and multi-platform, you automatically make more money. Read what he just said. Each new platform multiplies the complexity of the core project and slows feature development. I have been saying this for weeks, months, and years, that people get so lost in the debate about this. If you are developing for one platform, you can push feature development, you can push innovation. This is why I think the relationship with PlayStation Studios, building for PlayStation first and then porting to PC, is a great relationship, because they do not have to face this barrel. They don't have to worry about feature development being slowed down and each new platform multiplying the complexity of the core project. This is a top-down survivor game. This is not even a super complex game. Imagine what goes into a God of War Ragnarok, a Horizon Forbidden West, a Spider-Man 2, a Ghost of Yotei. Okay? Imagine the complexity of those projects just magnifying this reality. And yet people are like, oh, you know, exclusives are going away, and games are going to be everywhere, and everything's going multi-plat. Yeah, sure, Jan. That's why this game company just literally came out and said, yeah, the reason we can't be on every platform at once is because it does this to the project. Right? You'll never see these people demonizing smaller studios, indie studios, AA studios who'll build their game for PC first, because this is the reality. He said multiplies, not just add to. Right, he's using the word multiplies very intentionally here. Like, it just absolutely mushrooms into a whole host of issues. Now, he says Xbox has been relatively simple for us to work on Game Pass because we have worked with Microsoft, but even then it has taken a lot of sweat and hard work to get there. Even though it was easier to go to Xbox, it's taken a lot of work. Other studios completely skip multi-platform because they can't get through to even start developing for console platforms. Yeah, but every game's going to be everywhere in the future, guys. Game Pass is an enormous win for Survivor, and it makes more platforms in the future more likely, just as a successful 1.0 will. I am personally elated to finally be able to share this news, and I am super hyped for the future of Survivor. The more and more developers that speak this candidly about development, the more and more this stupid, idiotic thing that we're dealing with lately with these false narratives and all this ideology and all this PR speak, it'll all die, because you're going to clearly see there are too many developers, there are too many companies out there, and there are too many platforms to act like multi-platform is just this simple thing. And I don't think it's a rare Game Pass W. I think smaller studios like this and smaller titles have been the better targets for Game Pass, because the check can help them fund whatever's next. It protects them from the game maybe not doing that well, drowning in a sea of other games. It's hard to get noticed these days, especially as a smaller studio that doesn't have a ton of marketing dollars. So Game Pass is perfect for that. Game Pass, however, has been, I think, destructive to the culture over there, because it's fostered a culture of non-purchase. A lot of the nuance on Game Pass gets lost, because if you're critical of Game Pass, people just think you're being a hater saying Game Pass bad, instead of being like, well, no, Game Pass actually can be good. I've continually said that I think Game Pass should have an entire section for indie game trials. They should pair up with their efforts at ID at Xbox, which is all their indie efforts, and you should have games you can try out, because that's exactly what so many people use Game Pass for. You would retain that value point of being able to try out games, and if you like the game, you could then buy the game. This would get back to the Xbox 360 era with the Xbox Arcade, where you could try games and then buy them. My wife and I did this with Crimson Alliance. My wife and I did this with Gatling Gears. These were games that we tried through the Xbox Arcade demo thing, and then we bought them. That's the type of culture that you could foster with Game Pass, and that is something I think that would benefit these smaller games. But this is a huge insight. This is an enormous insight, what this guy has said, into why all the dialogue from these alleged pundits and people who are connected in the industry and know what they're talking about, they don't know what they're talking about. There is not a future where there aren't exclusives. There is not a future where every game is everywhere. This is an absurd prediction from people that doesn't even remotely land on the actual realities of development and the gaming world that we currently exist in. It's completely detached. It's this very, very superficial, canned, pie-in-the-sky nonsense, and what they're doing is, the reason it sounds like they're talking like somebody who's detached is because they are. They're parroting what the C-suite of Microsoft wants them to say, and they're all detached. They are probably the least informed people about what gamers want, how gamers game, how development is actually not the way they paint it. Like, well, yeah, you know, game companies want as many people to play their game as possible, and they act like that simple platitude just sufficiently summarizes the complexities of what goes into game development and what game developers want to do. Well, they want as many consumers as possible, so that very, canned, stupid, reductive platitude, well, that just means that every developer wants to develop every game for every platform, and they don't face any significant challenges, and they'll automatically make more money, and we'll all be happy, and we'll never have to buy multiple boxes, and exclusives will die. Like, it's not realistic. Not an inch of it has ever once been realistic. It is Microsoft selling a vision that they are trying to lead. Well, oh, this is where the industry's going. They're trying to make it seem like they're leading the charge and they're ahead of the curve, when the reality is they've been behind the 8 ball for years, and their pivot is proof of that. And now all you do is get people willing to capitulate and acquiesce and just mimic their talking points, so that they can push this notion that, like, oh yeah, exclusives are done, every game will be everywhere in the future, and you can play anywhere you want. No, that's not even remotely a realistic future. Not a shred of legitimacy to the prediction. I think the danger with AAA and indie going to Game Pass first is that I think it devalues the game. It's not the game's fault or even Game Pass itself. Xbox just took these fires, and many Game Pass see it as free games. They are not, and the check is really useful, but I do think games as a service devalue. This is why I've always said it should be trials, Hilly, because it gets purchased by the right people. Yeah. Will you eat your coffee if you're wrong? I literally can't be wrong. There is no possible way that the future is one where we don't have exclusives anymore and games are playable everywhere. That would mean that Nintendo and PlayStation would completely jettison their entire business structures in place right now. That means they would completely abandon everything that they've built, everything that they've worked on, everything that they currently do. Also, that would mean every single indie studio, AA studio, every single studio that uses Steam for early access, every single studio that only ships to Steam and then maybe later to Nintendo, all of those studios would have to suddenly be like, no, yeah, we're multi-plat, we're building games for everywhere. That isn't going to happen. You're talking about tectonic shifts within reality that would require somebody with the power of Doctor Strange to bring into fruition. You are not going to get these long-standing companies and these long-standing complexities of development to vanish into thin air because Phil Spencer says so. It's a joke. The whole thing's a joke. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of the dialogue. I'm sick of the fakes and the phonies. I'm sick of the lies. It's annoying. It's annoying. It's an infection. It's a language infection from a company with a huge pocketbook that can keep pushing these stupid marketing talking points, and they get willing people that are willing to push it because they set aside reality in their conscience, and they're like, well, no, yeah, we got to parrot what these guys say, and it's good for them to do that. They benefit from doing that. They get access. They get all sorts of spiffs and free stuff and flights and all this stuff. It's a huge problem in the industry. It's a massive problem in the industry. The press is complicit. They get involved in all this stuff because they go along with what the companies are saying. And especially when you're an American-based outfit, of course you're going to go along with Microsoft. The power they wield is enormous. Remember this, Microsoft wanted to purchase Nintendo. If they can be a monopoly, they would. Yeah, not only did they want to buy Nintendo, Phil Spencer had the audacity to say in an email that Nintendo doesn't realize their future is their software not being locked to their box. Like, Nintendo doesn't know what the frick they're doing as they beat the crap out of you year after year after year. Like, the hubris to think that you know better than Nintendo of all companies. To type that in an email is an insight into the way that Xbox and Microsoft views the industry. The level of hubris and arrogance to type that and think that that's accurate. Like, Nintendo doesn't know as well as you do. The frick out of here. They saturated the market with 150 million Switches that had the power of a graphing calculator, and you think you know better than Nintendo. Why don't you sit the frick down and sell people hardware you didn't make and put your games everywhere else because you couldn't hack it in the gaming business while posturing as if Nintendo doesn't know as well as you do. As you lose and gotta back out of the fight, yeah, you know better than Nintendo. Get the frick out of here. What a joke. The whole conversation about this has been a joke. It's been a joke. It's so dumb. It's like there's one more game, one more developer adding to the logs of the fire, burning the edifice to the ground of this fake phony notion that like, oh yeah, we're just going to, games are going to be everywhere and exclusives are going to die. And yet the leaders in the industry posting great results every year aren't doing that. Why do people think that the entity that since its inception is still in the negative knows what's best for the industry? That's exactly right. The whole thing's absurd. It drives me freaking crazy. I thought about it yesterday with the Xbox show. The games everywhere is a pipe dream. Xbox pushing it, but in truth, they haven't even got all the games play anywhere, yet they expect the rest of the market to follow is unrealistic. Some devs will want to target, some will port, some PC games don't even hit Steam. Which is odd to me, but it's still a fact. Others are pushing their own services, and the market will change, but Microsoft doesn't decide it. Consumers will in the end, and I think ownership will, in my opinion. Yeah, their notion of play anywhere is an absolute pipe dream. It's an absolute pipe dream. You think developers and publishers are going to be like, no, yeah, that's fine. They can only buy the game one time and play it anywhere. That's wonderful. Microsoft is Xbox once again is creating a centrality to their business that is antithetical to what the rest of the gaming world wants. Like, Game Pass is antithetical to what game publishers and developers want, which is sales, which is profit, which is revenue share when you hit certain sales thresholds. Like, It's antithetical to that. And they've once again made something central to their brand that's antithetical to what publishers and developers want. You think publishers and developers are like, yeah, sure, let's not even talk about the added complexity that multi-plat development brings to the budget of a game going everywhere. Now it costs more money. Oh, you don't just want us to do that. We got to develop the game for PC. We got to develop for Xbox. We got to develop for a hybrid Xbox. We got to make sure that it's, capable and optimized to be played on a handheld. We got to make sure it runs on the PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 5 Pro enhancements. We also got to make sure it runs on the Switch too. Oh, and then if we sell one copy on your storefront, they don't have to buy it again. They can play anywhere. Jiminy Christmas. Like, if they were any more out of touch, they'd be trying to sell people popsicles in the middle of the winter. It's like, what are you doing? You made this central to your brand? Nobody, who's going to want to do that? Play anywhere? What the frick are you talking about? How are you even going to subsidize that? Are you going to pay the publishers and the developers extra money so that because they're not going to get as many sales? Like, gee, money. It's like, what are you doing? The idea that they're leading the charge in the industry, it is laughable to me. It's laughable. If devs can't do it, AI will replace them. That's laughable as a prediction. Absolutely not. AI will replace them. What do you mean? So you think third-party companies whose publishers aren't owned by Microsoft are going to bow to this fiddle that they're playing? Why does nobody consider subscription money as income just like sales? No. We're not even talking about that. The whole Game Pass generates this much money. You've got to subsidize that with an absurd amount of money. You got to write checks that are bigger than you could possibly imagine to keep that thing flowing. That's why they're choosing smaller targets now, like Expedition 33. They're not going to be trying to target these big third-party deals anymore for Game Pass. They spent $80 billion to have their own property to put on Game Pass. They're not going to be writing these big fat checks to Take-Two and other companies. And even then they can't, because Take-Two doesn't want their game to go on to Game Pass day one, because they know it grates against what generates the most money for them, which is sales. Dark Taco with 34 months in Member Plus. When you're losing as bad as Xbox is, they had no other option than to try to uproot the entire industry. And we are now at 341. Man, that 10 bomb just dangling there. Somebody could steal it. Somebody could steal it to get the next milestone. Creature says, I'm calling it Lono. They'll kill Game Pass and replace it with Xbox Anywhere. Instead of paying publisher and developers to be on Game Pass, they'll pay them to be on Play Anywhere. It's subsidized with sales to PlayStation users. I mean, that's a new development that certainly helps subsidize it. You're not wrong. You're not wrong about that. That certainly helps it. I'm not talking about Game Pass. You're completely missing the conversation. You're trying to invoke a debate that we're not debating. I'm not debating the profitability of Game Pass. I'm not debating whether or not it's profitable, as they throw that word around and yet never share any of the hard data or numbers. They hide it from everybody because, that's what you do when something's profitable. You hide the hard data from people. Good Lord. I'm talking about how they have once again created a central identity for their brand that is antithetical to what gaming companies want. You're talking about Game Pass making money for Microsoft. Yeah, and it's not typically a good idea for game companies to throw their games on Game Pass day and date. There are instances where it is helpful, as is the case that we evidenced just earlier with Deep Rock Galactic Survivor, as is we saw with Sword of the Sea and PS Plus. That was something that helped the game come to fruition. It essentially funded the game. But by and large, your big publishers, your big developers, Game Pass is antithetical to what they want to do. They spend all this money. They want to sell the dadgum game, not line your catalog with their game as just value-destructed fodder that you write a fat check for. But then they're like, well, now we're not making sales over there, and now our product has been devalued. It's why major publishers have said that Game Pass is value-destructive. Right? Glenn Schofield said during a podcast, Game Pass is good for older games. Yes, that's why GTA went later, right? Not going day one. You have to understand something. Play Anywhere is another albatross on the brand. It's not a realistic expectation because you think that all these companies are going to agree to Play Anywhere. They're not. So you're always going to have a limited list of Play Anywhere, largely comprised by Xbox's first-party lineup, which is sizable. That's true. But you are once again creating an albatross on your brand. You're going to go to all these big major third-party companies and be like, hey, can we pay you to be a Play Anywhere game because we understand a Play Anywhere game is only purchased one time. We're going to subsidize that. Like, I don't know, GTA landing on console and then coming to PC later, and how many double dippers you get when your game is that big and that popular. That's loss of revenue, loss of profit for Take-Two and for Rockstar. You got to subsidize that if you want that game to be Play Anywhere. So you think Microsoft's going to be out here writing checks left and right for these major companies and games developers and publishers to make their games Play Anywhere? No. It's just like Game Pass. It'll run out of gas. It won't be a big enough group. You'll eventually be like, we can't keep subsidizing this. And then you're going to have an entire brand and an entire promise and an entire hardware lineup that sold people on the idea that you'll be able to play your games anywhere, but it's going to be this limited list of games. And a lot of them you're not even playing natively. You'll be playing them through the cloud. And even that is a huge problem because cloud gaming is going to buck up against these studios and companies being like, we don't want to update our user end license agreement and allow people to cloud stream our game. No. And then you won't be able to. This is why they acquired the largest publishers, Bethesda and ABK, which they operate business as usual. It's a large list. It's a large list, but with time, it once again will be it'll just be a joke in the industry. It'll be like, oh, Play Anywhere? Yeah, that list of Play Anywhere. The rest of these new games aren't Play Anywhere. That's quite a stretch of a prognostication stated as facts. It's not facts. I didn't state it as facts. You're projecting, and I for some reason, trying to throw around a big word, I guess. I didn't say it was facts. I'm saying this is exactly what happened with Game Pass. It is exactly what happened with Game Pass. It's antithetical to what businesses want to do with their games. And you're doing it again. Play Anywhere? What the frick? Buy the game one time? Have you paid attention to how these companies operate? Have you paid attention to their level of what people call greed? To continue to say that the entire industry is driven by greed and the desire for more money. Oh, do you think that same industry that everybody always demonizes and says is driven by corporate greed, do you think that gigantic monolithic machine is going to be like, oh no, yeah, Play Anywhere is a great idea. Buy the game one time. What? Steam is Play Anywhere? No. Steam is a storefront. If I buy a game in Steam, I can't play it on my PlayStation. What are you talking about? If I buy a game on my PlayStation, I can't play it on Steam. A game company that makes a game that lands on PlayStation, Steam, and Xbox, they don't want you to buy the game one time and play it on all three platforms. That is absurd as an expectation. Why would anybody in the pipeline there be okay with that? You think Steam's okay with that? Yeah, that's fine. You bought it on PlayStation, you play it over here. We don't get a cut of that. What the frick? Where's the money coming from? Somebody's got to pay the piper. And in this conversation, that's what everybody forgets. This utopian nonsense about how like every game will be everywhere and exclusives are going away and I'm only going to buy the game once and it will go with me everywhere. That's PR nonsense from Microsoft. That is not realistic. There is not a future where that's like what you're doing. Like your library is just this thing you carry with you everywhere and with no limitations. You buy the game one time and you're good to go. No, that's not going to happen. You've got so many hands in the pie that are either trying to sell games as a storefront like Steam or a publisher developer who's trying to sell as many copies of their games as possible, and Play Anywhere is antithetical to all of that. Buy the game once? What? Like, And people will say, oh, he's a corporate shill. He's defending the corporations. I should only have to buy the game once. Ideological drivel that does not even remotely land on the conversation. These companies don't give a frick about that. They don't care about you. They don't care about this ideology, this us versus them, this like anti-corporation, anti-AAA, anti-profit attitude from like ideological, weird, self-righteous YouTubers and Twitter users. They don't give a frick about that. They give a frick about their shareholders and making money. And they ain't going to make money by letting you buy a game one time. They're not going to. Xbox is going to have to approach major publishers and major developers and be like, hey, can we make your game play anywhere? So if they buy it on Xbox, well, then they can play it on their PC or their handheld or our Xbox console. And they're going to, in the average publisher and developer is going to be like, well, how much are you going to pay us for that? That's less sales. What are you talking about? Buy it one time. People are out here buying games more than one time? Sure they are. Sure they are. Yes. Sheepishly raises his hand. Yeah, there's a large portion of the audience that buys games regularly. Companies are agreeing to it though. Yeah, but that doesn't, again, what they're selling you is absolutely untenable. You being able to play any game that you buy anywhere, your library going with you anywhere, you being able to access your games anywhere, that is an absolute just fool's errand. That's not, there is no future. I think like Creature's prediction's probably pretty on the nose. They're going to start selling Play Anywhere instead of Game Pass. The idea is, when you subscribe to Play Anywhere, this library is available anywhere, like Netflix, right? You install Netflix on your phone, your iPad, your TV, or you go to Netflix on your computer, and there's all the stuff that you subscribe to. It wouldn't surprise me at all if that's how they start to couch this, that like Play Anywhere is this thing that you subscribe to, and then whether or not you're playing on a smart TV, Fire Stick, tablet, phone, handheld device, PC, this future hybrid, there's your Play Anywhere games. The problem with that notion is, just like what happened with Netflix and all these companies is you start to run out of your own property. You start to run out of money, and you got to start going and dealing, getting deals from other people. The dilemma there is the landscape of companies and publishers they're going to have to go and talk to, like, hey, we want you to be on Play Anywhere. That's going to be a hard sell. Same with cloud. It's one of the reasons you can't cloud stream all the games that you own, because there are companies that are just like, no. They have to upgrade the EULA. And if they don't do that, then you can't cloud stream it. That is literally why you can't just turn on a portal and cloud stream all the games that you own. It's literally like a logistical piece of red tape. That's why you can't do it. And so Microsoft has a Herculean task in front of them. They need to basically approach any company, any developer publisher that's in charge of this, and they've got to get them to agree to cloud streaming of the game, which many of them right now have not done that. There are games keep continuing to get added, and that's great. There are companies that aren't. And then they also have to agree to some kind of a Play Anywhere deal. I'm telling you, like, this idea that this is the future and this is where things are going, it is laughable. It's so ignorant. It's like nothing. There's not anything in the industry that signals this at all. It's not easy to develop for multiple platforms. As the guy from Deep Rock Galactic just said, there are companies that don't even get to the point where they make enough money to fund multi-plat development. Like, I really need you to think about what the man said. He's like, yeah, there's tons of games that don't even get to this point where they've made enough money to reinvest and fund multi-plat development. But you guys think out here on Twitter and warring about this, that like, PlayStation's just going to tell all their studios that they now have to do multi-plat development, day and date, full slate, exclusives are dead, Sony's dead. It's a freaking joke. It's a meme. The whole thing's a meme. The past couple of weeks have been an exercise in hilarity and comedy. Watching people like scramble around for table scraps to piece together War and Peace. It's like, do you have any idea the level of tectonic change that would have to take place for this future to come to fruition? Because games take 4 to 6 years to develop, which means games landing in 2029 and 2030, those games would need to be budgeted right now for that type of development. And a small game, small studio just said, this absolutely multiplies the complexity. And there are companies that don't even get to this point. And you think every first-party PlayStation studio is suddenly going to be tasked with that? It's a joke. It's a joke. Oh, and let's imagine every Xbox studio right now that is being tasked with this. What do you think that's doing to the games? What do you think that's doing to the games? You're wrong, because gaming consoles are becoming more and more PC-like. Multi-platforming might be a very simple concept in the near future. I don't agree with you. Sony has Nixxes, and that's a porting company. That doesn't land on this discussion. Every Xbox studio right now is being tasked with this initiative to, like, you need to be developing your game for all platforms, because that's where Microsoft sees the money. Microsoft's chasing that sweet publishing dollars. The mistake that Microsoft has made, I believe they have woefully misfired here. They have looked at established monolithic titles like Call of Duty that have been multi-plat for how long, and Minecraft, which has been multi-plat for how long, and like, oh, look at the money it generates. Yes, that doesn't mean you can take this one-size-fits-all strategy, go to developers of varying degrees of size, institutional knowledge, different tool sets, different engines, different levels of expertise. And you're going to go to all these studios and be like, yeah, now you're a multi-plat studio. That would be insanely disruptive. It would be like going to a Nintendo developer and suddenly saying that to them, like, oh yeah, you're now a multi-plat studio, you got to build Donkey Kong for all platforms. That would have absolutely disrupted everything that they were working on. The project would have taken way longer, likely would have completely changed the way that the game landed in general. As the guy from Deep Rock said, it hurts feature development. Like, you're trying to develop these features when now you got all these different platforms where the feature may or may not even work. So that's why I don't think that, oh, well, if PlayStations are closer to PC in the future, this will change. Okay, think about this with me just for a second. The market is about to be saturated with a Nintendo Switch 2 similarly to the numbers of the Switch 1. So it's going to get into the 150s, 140 millions. PlayStation's on its way to, 90 million, then 100 million. It'll likely match PS4. So it's going to be 110, 120 million PlayStations in circulation. Those platforms are going to be built for the next 5 to 7 years. Easy. And then the PlayStation 6 is going to enter the market and be very similar and adjacent to everything that was developed for the PS5 Pro and whatever comes out of Project Amethyst with this relationship with AMD. So when those developers get those dev kits, they're going to be developing for that as well. There isn't some weird ethereal thing happening where, like, PCs and consoles are getting close together, and so then, well, development has been simplified. That's not happening. Now, the work with Project Amethyst may help with what you're saying. It may. You may end up having developers that are like, oh, it's easier to develop for PlayStation now because of things that we've had breakthroughs, with FSR and things that we've had breakthroughs with AMD chipsets, but you still have NVIDIA in the picture. You still have NVIDIA in the picture. So you've got to develop a game that can interact with, Intel CPUs, as well as you got NVIDIA GPUs versus AMD GPUs. Like, Nixxes can port with no problem. That's a hand wave. And that's also a porting process that doesn't land on the discussion. You're not entering the discussion. We're not talking about porting games later. Nixxes is a porting company. We're talking about this silly utopian dream that's being sold to people that there's a future with no exclusives. Console war's over. No more exclusives in the future. Games everywhere. That is an absolute lie. That is not what's coming. That's not what's coming. Oh, you're coping, you're seething, you're molding, your team that you cheer for is over. I cheer for gaming. These people cheer for marketing. That's the difference. That's why I find it reprehensible. It's like you're not cheering for gaming. You're not cheering for gamers. You're cheering for marketing talking points that were created in a high rise on a frickin' storyboard somewhere. This was dreamed up on a dry erase board and shoveled out through the corporate machine of Microsoft, and you just spit it out, and you're like, yeah, this is where things are going. Yeah, because Microsoft thought this was the best way to encase their evolution in positivity. But it is absolutely not in the service of games, as more and more developers have spoken out about how this is absolutely not this easy flip of a switch thing. Yeah, that it's this big pro-consumer thing. You know what's pro-consumer? Innovation that leads to a higher value proposition that leads to really good value transmission. That's pro-consumer. That is pro-consumer. Ham-fisting games everywhere, when we know it creates problems with complexity of development. We know it can actually harm innovation. We know that it can actually harm feature development. That's not pro-consumer. That's pro-being frugal. Frugality is not the highest virtue of the consumer. That isn't. The highest virtue of the consumer is to get value from the market. That's what you're supposed to do. You are meant to go into the market and extract value from it. Now, you can do that as cheaply or as expensively as you want, but the highest value of the consumer is not frugality. So I completely reject that notion, and I don't think it's ever going to come to fruition because it's not technically even possible. You're cheering for exclusives? You're darn right I'm cheering for exclusives, because that's cheering for developers to be able to do more and to develop more features and to innovate better and to create awesome innovations within the games. Yes, I'm cheering for exclusives, because when they build for one platform, they continue to talk about how it's better for the games. You turn it into an us versus them dichotomy where, like, if you cheer for exclusives, well, you're anti-consumer and you're a corporate shill. You're a name-calling child if that's how you approach this discussion. You're dealing in preschool playground antics. I'm talking about the real world. I'm not talking about some weird made-up narrative where, like, it's us versus the corporations. That's bogus. That's just an easy way to drive click rate on videos where you rail against the same thing every week and how AAA is dying and out of touch and games suck and these companies are lame and all they care about is greed and blah, 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 blah. I'm talking about the real world. The real world is developers are like, what do you mean? Exclusives aren't bad. Exclusive built the entire industry for the most part, and we've continually had developers come out that say we can develop faster, we can innovate better, it pushes features out. Like, as this guy just said, for a game like Deep Rock Galactic, for him to say what he said, imagine magnifying what he said up into the budgets and the size of the development and the bandwidth and the production costs and the complexities of a studio the size of, like, Santa Monica. This guy's game is Deep Rock Galactic Survivor. And he's like, yeah, the complexity, magnification, and multiplication when you go multi-plat, I mean, it absolutely slows everything down and makes it more expensive. Larian basically said that every game has to release in early access now. I said you're going to see a rise in that. I said you will see more and more companies leveraging early access, because if you're creating a massive, big open world RPG with all these systems upon systems upon systems, right? And you make bad calls in your foundation, gee, money Christmas, that's just absolutely destructive to what you're going to do. I always gave the example of the guy who was helping his friend fly a small plane and delivering medicine in Africa. And he says if they were off in their trajectory by, like, a degree, he's like, we could end up in the wrong country and get shot down. You can't do that. If your trajectory's off by a degree, you go all the way over here, and then your target was here. Like, that's an issue with games of this size. If you have bad trajectories on systems and ideas that you think people are going to love, and then the game gets built over 5 years, and then you drop it, and people are like, yeah, we actually hate all of this. Well, what are you going to do? You can't just, like, take it out. It's over at that point. Hadigan says, I agree and disagree with your take. Under the current setup and model, it will hurt creativity. But just like anything, if multiplat becomes norm, devs will adapt and overcome deficiencies. That's just such sweeping reductionism. What do you mean it will become the norm? If it becomes the norm, they'll just adapt. How will it become the norm? How? You going to make them? You going to force them? It'll only become the norm if it becomes the better way to bring games to the market, if it becomes the more profitable way. And currently, you can clearly see the vast majority of games aren't doing this. There's an ocean of games every year that only come out for PC. Then there's exclusives to Nintendo. Then there's exclusives to PlayStation. Why are there so many studios doing that? Why wouldn't the emergence of that just happen normally if these people are correct, that this is cheaper, better, you make more money? It would have naturally just emerged out of the industry. It would be what's called an emergent property, where you have all these different complex systems, and then out of it emerges this thing. Of all of the things that could happen in game development, if that was going to be the norm and the result because you just make more money, it would have already happened, because studios, publishers, C-suite, shareholders, all the money people would have been like, that's a better way of making money. That hasn't happened. Now, you look to Microsoft to act like, oh, they're leading the charge. They are quite literally turning themselves into a publisher because they lost the hardware fight. They lost the console fight, so they're going a route that they feel is more suited to their core competencies, because Microsoft is a software company. And as a software company, they know a thing about distributing software and making tons of money off of it. And as Phil Spencer said, Minecraft changed his mind, because they started seeing the money they were making off of a monolithic title, and they thought, oh wow, this is the way to make money. This is actually so much better. It's why in the wake of the ABK acquisition, they started laying people off and shutting down studios. Why? Because they were going to get minimal ROI on those studios. You're just a line item at that point. You're just a line item. It's like, well, we're not going to make any money on you. You're too small. The IPs you work with are too small. They're not well known. WB's doing the same dadgum thing, right? They're going to back the major IPs, the safer bets, the things that probably are going to turn a better profit. Same thing happened in Microsoft in the wake of the acquisition. It's like, we'll just get rid of all the small fries and the small studios. They're probably not even done yet, because they're looking at becoming essentially like there's more money in publishing. And to act like, oh, that's the direction the industry's going is such a misdiagnosis. It's like, so let me get this straight. Microsoft completely fails and fumbles another generation of hardware. They basically spend an absurd amount of money, an unprecedented amount of money to own a bunch of property. They turn into a publisher, abandon all of the principles of exclusives and building their own hardware. They're moving away from all of that, and that's what the industry's going to do. The industry spit them out like the tepid, lukewarm water that they are in the gaming space. They have been so tepid and so lukewarm, the industry spat them out. Mediocrity. That's what they've been dealing in this entire gen. And that's why they're in the position that they're in. They're not leading a charge. They're adapting so that they don't die. Phil Spencer seems to think that the leading cause for their relevancy in the market in the future is through gaming. That's what Phil thinks. He kept them in the fight. He kept Xbox alive and well. And now that's their course, is to evolve so that they don't die and leave the gaming market. And the way they do it is publisher ecosystem. That's their pivot. Because leveraging exclusives and selling hardware, they're not interested in that anymore. They're going to have other people make the hardware for them, and you're not going to buy the hardware for exclusives. And they're selling you, this is the plane landing right here. The reason they're trying to sell you this vision of play anywhere, it's like in Mad Men when he said, your cigarettes are toasted. Well, everybody toasts them. Yeah, well, if you say it first, you can leverage that, right? If they're one of the first brands or the only brand to walk out and say, oh yeah, well, we triumph play anywhere. Well, yeah, we try and play anywhere. This is the landing of the plane. They're trying to get you to buy into their vision because it's what they're selling. They're not casting a vision for the industry. They're casting a vision for their brand. That's why they want you to buy in. They are absolutely not making predictions about Nintendo and PlayStation, and for goodness sakes, the ocean of indie and AA titles that only build for PC. They're not casting a vision for the industry. They're casting a vision for their brand. That's why they want you to buy in. Because if you buy in, you'll stay loyal. You'll buy their hardware. You'll stay in their ecosystem. You'll continue to generate revenue for them, and they need that. You got 20 to 30 million people somewhere in that ballpark on some form of Game Pass. They need that revenue to continue. And they're taking the cheapest route to get there. The cheapest route to get there and to keep you in their funnel of revenue is to have other people make the hardware and to have publishing dollars of the games on other platforms subsidizing it and giving them ROI in the major purchases that they made. So I think that's why I keep saying you're not hearing people echo their genuine thoughts, their genuine convictions. They immediately got in line with the marketing and have just parroted the marketing. That's why not everybody, but that's why a significant number of prominent figures just completely abandoned all notions of exclusives being good and exclusives being weaponized. They were the cock of the walk when ABK closed because they thought this is it. They're going to answer back and they're going to have exclusives. They did the same thing when the ZeniMax contract ink dried, strutting around like they just got the biggest and best date to the prom. And then when the bottom falls out and they realize, oh gosh, everything that was predicted about this is coming true, they're shutting down studios, they're canceling projects, and they're publishing the games everywhere. Everything we thought this was going to turn into isn't. They just get right in line with the marketing talking points and start talking about exclusives are bad and play anywhere is the future. And that's what gaming is all about. All of a sudden, gaming's not about quality games and new and awesome experiences. Gaming is now all of a sudden all about playing wherever you want. When did that become what gamers care about? What are you even talking about? I want good games. Now, obviously, I'm bummed when a game doesn't come to the platform where I play the most. But as I said today with Deep Rock, I said, it's a bummer that Deep Rock Galactic Survivor will not be on PlayStation, but good for them. They procured funding through Game Pass, and that's good for them. And then the guy in charge of the company comes out and literally echoes what I said, like, yeah, this is good for us. This is going to enable us to put the game on more platforms. I am happy to wait for Deep Rock Galactic Survivor to come to PlayStation, because that means that company was funded in a way that was healthy and a better product comes to market. Because that's what I celebrate. I celebrate good value products, good valuable products, value-laden products coming to the market and people getting something good for their money. That's a healthy market. That makes it continue. That means I get more games in the future. I get to continue doing what I love. Dark Taco, I missed your renewal. 34 months at a member plus. When you're losing as bad as Xbox is, they had no other option than to try to uproot the entire industry. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I think I read that. $10 super chat from Dark Taco. Great discourse today. Thank you for keeping this busy photocopier technician entertained. Well, thank you very much. This is one of the reasons why I avoided a lot of these topics, because like I get worn out by it. I get frustrated by it. It's just like, it's impossible for me to talk about it and not just absolutely just flambe people. It's like, what you're saying is ridiculous. It's literally just marketing. That's all it is. And I'm trying to help people see the way they talked about this stupid handheld, the way they talk about the future of the market, the way they talk about the future of games. It is marketing. That's what it is. You're not getting marketing from me. You're getting genuine conviction. These are the things that I genuinely believe. Now, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe things go in a different direction. Maybe certain things shift and change, and companies change their ideas and change their principles and change what they want. But I'm not sitting here getting in line and towing the party line and just parroting talking points to you. I genuinely believe these things. You're getting something authentic. Even if you don't agree with it, even if you think I'm a blowhard, at least you're getting something genuine. You know what I think. I'm not putting on airs here. I'm not winning any likability contests with these companies. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not trying to ruffle the feathers of the companies or the studios. I'm actually trying to take up for the studios. Xbox couldn't get any dates, so they declared that they're done with women and everybody else should too. Sony and Nintendo are happily hanging out with their wives. Hang on one second. Okay. Hang on. Okay. Sorry, I had to respond to that right now. No, I've not opened the Twitch. I'm gonna open this box. If you guys get Friday night, I'm gonna open this box. I was gonna open it today if you guys made this hit 400, but you're running out of time to do that. You're running out of time. You got like 3 or 4 minutes. This was just an off-the-cuff rant, debate, discussion that has been percolating under the surface for a while. What's in the box? It is a great film. Is it a kiddie pool? No, that'd be weird, wouldn't it? Just like hit a button and it like self-inflates. Hey, PS Sal says, come on, boys. We're super close to 350 anyway. Gets it to 346. That's an easy dunker 5-bomb to 350. Whoever hits it gets it. We've been just moving faithfully along this week at 350. I owe you guys a member. Yeah, I saw a hip-hop gamer got to sit down with Sean Layden. I saw that. Yeah. See my last, says Hilly. That's a point I don't always agree, but you're saying what you think, not what you think chat wants to hear. Hilly says, in Microsoft's defense, the big studios they bought were multi-platform. What is stupid is they bought them, stopped the multi-platform, and then quickly turned around. And Alex steals it for Team Purple. There it is. Very, very choosy, but that works. And we actually have a bit of a fight now. It's 40-33. We haven't had a 50 bomb in a while. This would be a perfect time to manifest it. Guys, spam that farty bomb. That's what my son calls 50 bombs. Spam that, and we might hit 400. Then I'll open up the box. But yeah, to be fair, yes, you said then they quickly turned around and said no multi-platform. Then they do it again, right? They really misfired. Here's the problem, Hilly. Right? Here's the problem. You're in both chats. Nice work, Alex. I get what you're saying. Hilly's like, well, they bought a bunch of multi-platform studios, and the mistake they made was they said, nope, we're not doing it, and now we are. Okay. I think here's the other mistake they're making, and I think this will come to fruition with enough time. I think they're going to be tasking these studios with also getting on the Switch. I think the Switch 2 is actually going to be a bit of a problem because it's going to be big, it's going to be popular, and you're going to have Xbox and Microsoft saying, hey, we make a ton of money on Minecraft, and we got a lot of MAU over there on Nintendo. We want our games over there on Nintendo. You're seeing evidence of this right now. with how other companies are trying to kind of like bull rush their way into the Switch 2 with ports, Elden Ring doesn't run well from what we're hearing. So, because of this, that's one of my primary concerns is you're going to spread these studios too thin. You're going to spread them way too thin. It's like, what are you going to do? You're going to get these studios to start doing that? Like building not just for Xbox. You got 2-tier Xbox. You got PC. You got PlayStation 5, PlayStation 5 Pro, and the Switch 2. I firmly believe this, Hilly. I think Xbox tasking their studios this gen with PC, Series S, and Series X is one of the reasons they have been so unreliable. The games come out, they're either not great, half-baked, problematic, 30 FPS, not feature complete, or delayed, now canceled with certain games. I'm serious. I think that's one of the leading causes. One of the leading causes is developers that can't focus their development prowess. Open the box or else. Give me a 50 bomb or else. Like, I genuinely mean this. I think that has been the leading cause for their first-party studios not getting games out on time and games coming out that aren't feature complete. It was because you went to a bunch of developers like, you got to build for Series S, you got to build for Series X, you got to build for PC, day and date. Like, well, oh, okay. I think that's what happened to Starfield. Personally, I think a lot of what happened with Starfield was that. I think their entire development got sabotaged. I think that's one of the reasons Phil Spencer said they flooded the studio with support. Why would Bethesda need you to flood the studio with support? Why? What could possibly have been the reason? The reason was they suddenly had to build the game for systems that they weren't planning on. They were prioritizing PlayStation and in talks with doing a timed exclusivity deal. Or an exclusivity deal, I don't know. Switch could be a bridge too far for some studios, I agree. If they target well, they could make that work. AB came Bethesda have the manpower, like they are too big in my opinion. Quality has been an issue for Xbox. None of this helps. Bethesda got messed around big time. I think the onboarding and then the change in strategy hurt them. Yeah, I think that was one of the biggest reasons Starfield turned out the way that it did. Crazy how PlayStation commercial for Stalker 2 sells on both PS5 and Stalker 2. Pretty much all their platforms look outdated. I've not seen anything about it. That's why Pete Hines left. You think Starfield was make or break for Xbox? I don't know if it was make or break, but I think it was probably a pretty pivotal moment that led to them saying this strategy doesn't work. You know? If that's the case with Xbox, this wave of games went through massive growing pains. Isn't it safe to assume they would be more equipped for next wave? No, it's not safe to assume that. It isn't. It could continue to be an albatross around development at the studios. Think about this with me just for a second. Multi-plat games, some of the bigger and more long-standing multi-plat games are the ones that are pretty consistently criticized for being copy-paste, non-innovative, the same game every year, full of bugs and glitches, shipping when they're not ready. Do you ever consider the fact that maybe that's because they're multi-plat games, they're aircraft carriers, it's really hard to add to them, to innovate, it's not safe to try, it's more difficult to try to do that because they're developing for multiple platforms, right? You don't think it's interesting that, like, typically some of the best games, like, historically speaking in the last couple of years, you think it's a coincidence that, like, Baldur's Gate, developed for PC first, early access, they built, they iterated, they worked. Nintendo games, PlayStation games, they're the ones leading the Game of the Year nominations. You think that's an accident? You think it's an accident that the big, huge multiplayer budget titles that are always decried as being the same, copy-paste, nobody's innovating, nobody's doing anything new, they're buggy, they're glitchy, they need day one patches, they're not ready at launch. Why aren't they dominating the Game of the Year nominations? Why is it typically games like Baldur's Gate or Nintendo or PlayStation first-party titles? Why? They're the ones that are in the position to push the envelope. Larian was able to do something incredibly special with Baldur's Gate, and that's because they weren't being, they didn't have some Taskmaster corporation being like, I want it on all platforms. I want it on all platforms. And then you get a game that is squashed beneath the weight of that. There are plenty of examples of platform exclusives having issues as well. I'm talking about trends, because trends are usually based off of patterns, and patterns usually represent something that then is deducible as an actual thing of substance. Like, this is an actual thing that's happening. The narrative about AAA and the big, huge titles is consistent, and there's a reason for that. There is a reason for that. And I'm telling you, when you take the history of the gaming industry, which was games being built for Xbox, games being built for Nintendo, and games being built for PlayStation, and you jettison that from your identity, and you're like, no, we're building games for multiple platforms now, look at the result you got this gen from Xbox. Look at the result. You got games that weren't feature complete, shipped at 30 FPS, they were bug-riddled, they were mediocre, they were tepid. I mean, what an embarrassment this gen has been for them in the realm of quality. And why do you think that is? Like, it's just plain as day to me. It's so easily viewable as to what happened. It's like you can't look at it and act like this is not a demonstration of a pattern from them. That they went into an idea and to an entire sort of ecosystem and disrupted the whole thing because they had this idea in their mind of like, well, we got to grow the users. We got to go for non-gamers, or we got to have our games in more places. That was them chasing. I think they were basically chasing. I can't think of the metaphor. They were chasing a mirage is really what they were doing. This idea that you can just suddenly put games everywhere and make more money. If that was such a crackerjack strategy, why did it not work for them? That's the major question I want to ask all these people who say things like that. Well, if you put your games in more places, you automatically make more money. Really? Why didn't that work out well for Xbox? They've been putting their games in more places than PlayStation and Nintendo for years, and look what they did. They completely lost the fight. It should have been generating tons of money for them. They should be sitting high on the profit hog right now, laughing all the way to the bank, laughing at the stupid Nintendo and PlayStation philosophy of, believing in exclusives and believing in bespoke, software for their hardware. You see what I'm saying? It's like it just confounds all reason and logic to be like, oh no, yeah, they've been doing this for years, and you automatically make more money. It's the way of the future. It's automatically more profitable. It didn't seemingly work out very well for them. They started doing it in 2017, and it killed them. Right? Look at the quality we got this gen. I'm telling you, like, this gen is evidence that it doesn't work. It doesn't work. If it doesn't hold back innovation, if it doesn't hurt quality, then why didn't they come storming out of the gate this year with amazing titles and an amazing lineup and high quality and Game of the Year nominations? Why wasn't Xbox able to do that this year? Something seemingly was keeping them from doing that, from their studios delivering that level of excellence. What was it, do you think? Maybe it was suddenly disrupting something that worked for so many years for Nintendo, PlayStation, and even worked for Xbox. Disrupting this idea of building your software for your hardware so you have this happy marriage between the innovation and the features and the advancements and the hardware that you developed, so the two go hand in hand together the way they did with, I don't know, Breath of the Wild on the Nintendo Switch 1, or all these amazing games that have been showing off how great the PS5 and the PS5 Pro is. Like, that relationship got disrupted by this mission and this trajectory that Xbox set for themselves, and look at what it did. It ran the ship aground. They had to completely pivot from everything they were promising people. And now we got to hear from people about, well, this is the future and this is where things are going. Really? If it was the way of the future, if it was way things are going, why didn't it work for Xbox this gen? They were ahead. They did it first. They were doing day and date PC and Xbox delivery for years. And what did it do for them? It didn't win them some war. They didn't go out and pioneer new ground of some new frontier. It was an albatross. It killed them. I don't know how anybody can look at that trajectory and continue to make the predictions that they're making. If it's where the things are going, if it's the future, if it's a way to get better games, if it's better for the consumer, then why in the frick did it not work for Xbox? Why do they do nothing but ship a very steady stream of non-feature complete games this gen? You talk about pro-consumer, that's the most non-pro-consumer thing I think I've ever seen. Continuing to sell people some mirage of roadmaps of games that get delayed and canceled, because if they sell you the roadmap, you stay on Game Pass. And then they're just going to continue to flood Game Pass with half-baked crap that isn't ready for launch, like Redfall and Forza Motorsport. I'll even include Starfield in there. Look at the user score for that. That's anti-consumer. Selling you some vision of the brand and some vision of the future that never comes to fruition. But buddy, you stayed on Game Pass, eating good on Game Pass, eating 30 FPS non-feature complete games on Game Pass. That's anti-consumer. The idea that like exclusives are anti-consumer and this is pro-consumer. If it's so pro-consumer, then why do the consumers seem so unsatisfied with what they've been getting? Look at the user scores on these games. Look at the user response to Forza Motorsport, Starfield's DLC, to Redfall. Look at the response. You think that's pro-consumer? Shoveling out stuff into the market that's not ready? Oh, but the game's in more places, so what? That automatically, does that override everything else? If you think this is the way of the future, we already see what it results in. We already see what it results in. If you think this is where the future is going and this is where it's headed, cool. We'll see how long it lasts. Developing games across some broad spectrum of hardware so that features get harmed or gutted or removed, performance, innovation, optimization, all of that goes down. And then user scores are down. Response and sales will go down accordingly. If you think that's the future, I got news for you. Natural selection will take care of all of this. Survival of the fittest. You will see games and studios die beneath the weight of this idiotic vision that you can just make games for all platforms and make more money. The weight of that is going to be soul-crushing on these projects and studios. It will. You will see a continued trajectory, the velocity of canceled, failed games and studio foreclosures and studio closures. I'm here to tell you that they're just getting started because it's not going to work. And Microsoft executives won't accept excuses. They won't accept any reason. They're just going to say, well, then shut them down because we need ROI. And operation costs don't justify what we got off that project. Get them out of here. Yeah, talent's going to be lost. I don't like to make videos or live streams or uploads about this anymore because I don't think it's that productive. You know, you guys got me a little bit off the cuff right now, and you know that's fine. But like, I'm dead serious. The ramifications of what Xbox is doing have yet to be felt. They have yet to be felt. This will not be good for the industry. It will be tectonically destructive to so many studios, so many companies. You've already lost studios and talent and games like Perfect Dark. It's already happened. We'll just gloss over that with smiling faces and play anywhere. I ain't gonna change it. It'll be an insult. Kind of already is an insult. Microsoft's been making good money on this gamble. Their margins are nearly double Nintendo or Sony. Quality may be suffering, but the money is there. One of the best ways to drive that money, though, Weasel, and this is what should be, I think, worrying to gamers, is lowering operation costs. And a great way of doing that is gut studios that don't give you the results that you want. You're basically asking people to... You're asking studios of varying size and talent. Imagine they're all cars, and they all have varying sizes of engine and towing power. And you're asking all of them to drag a semi behind them. And when they can't do it, and they spin out their tires, and they burn out, and smoke's coming from underneath the hood, they'll be like, well, just get rid of that car. It's not good enough for what we're trying to do. Like, none of these studios, it's not a one-size-fits-all. It isn't. They're all being tasked with the same thing, which is build for all platforms. And there are varying degrees of ability across these studios. Eugene says their margins, they don't report their margins. You're just making stuff up. Yeah, I mean, I just took it at face value. If you think their margins are great and double that of Nintendo and Sony, I don't know where you've got your information because, again, they don't report it. They don't show it to us. But if you think... from outside speculation that this is going to lead to them just being like, oh, well, we're making tons of money, this is great. They 100% are going to see this as an opportunity to continue to push that, and one of the best ways to do that is to lower your operational costs. It's like the easiest way to do it. If COD gets worse numbers this year, the way Microsoft responds could send the title downhill quicker. Brother, I'd be super concerned with the amount of bandwidth that gets thrown at Call of Duty and with the way Black Ops 7 is trending with public perception, especially versus Battlefield. If I'm one of the studios, if I'm an employee on COD, between now and the release date of Black Ops 7, I'd be updating my resume. I'd be getting ready because I'm dead serious. They are not going to accept a decrease in revenue or sales for that game, and I'm telling you, that trailer did not land. It did not land as strong. Battlefield is 100% a part of this, but also it just didn't have an identity. It was like, what is this? I don't understand what I'm looking at. It doesn't even feel like Call of Duty. I don't know what I saw. I was super excited. I was pumped for Black Ops 7. All right, listen, I can only give you guys a little bit more time to try to hit it. If you guys make it hit 400, I'll open the box. You're going to have to bands together. Like if 10 of you do 5 bombs, you could knock this out really quickly, or everybody doing singles. But I've got to go here in about 10 minutes. And if you guys unlock Friday night, I'll open it on Friday night. But I was going to open it up early for you guys. The trippy mind stuff levels in the trailer is a complete whiff. Show me one person asking for more of that. It's got high viewership. I haven't even checked the like ratio on it. I mean, it's got 29 million views. Oof, 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 oof. I mean, just absolute oof. I mean, look at that. 43,000, 251,000. That's just not a good sign. Now, I've said before that like ratios like this can be a complete fabricated thing, like because people brigade. This doesn't look like a brigade to me. This looks like a genuine response. Like when people did that with AC Shadows, I said, I don't think it's going to affect AC Shadows, and my logic was very simple. It was a brigade. It was people that were taking joy out of downvoting it, and then AC Shadows did fine. This is literally a response, like boom, that just hit. Like, they got 200,000 people brigading? Yeah, probably not. And the funny thing about AC Shadows was, as time went on, later trailers and reveals performed better. they performed better because it was that with those initial trailers, everybody brigaded them, and then later trailers did fine. Now, that could happen with Black Ops 7, but that's devastating. That reception is just, it's bad. One of the most upvoted comments, this actually made me pre-order Black Ops 6. From a COD player, thank you for making it easy to choose Battlefield 6. Black Ops is starting to feel like the Fast and the Furious of video games. Alex is going to make a run for it with a 10 bomb and 5 from Siege Master on YouTube. Oh, you just might do it. That takes us all the way to 366. You already got some people helping out. Thank you so much, boys. Getting us a little bit closer. What's in the box? People want to see what's in the box. You're going to have to wait till Friday night unless you guys, if you hit 400 today. Hopefully I'm not booming the mic too much, setting it down. The Sci-Fi Black Ops with wall running was one of their worst received games. Why would they go back to that? I had no idea. From the initial trailer with the the numbers, Mason, it looked like it was going to be like cerebral and psychological, not like trippy sci-fi. I don't know. It's a whiff if I've ever seen one. Oh, we got some more people adding to the fire. James NC with a gifted and Silent Spartan with 23 months. Glad you're still chugging along, bro. I disagree with you a lot, but I'm happy to be around. Thanks for the great content. And that gets us to 368. Oh, hang on. I forgot to do this. This needs to be 40. Oops. This needs to be 47, and this needs to be 43. We actually have a genuine competition right now. It's 47 to 43 between the two platforms. And a 50 bomb from Silent Spartan. It's been a while, boys, but the 50 bombs are back. I want to see some 40 bombs in chat. This man just dropped an absolute banger. Holy mackerel. Hang on, let me reopen. What is that? Oh, 418. All right. You guys are well on pace for Friday night. You guys might even get a stretch goal this week and make Madam and I play a game. We got to figure out what you could make us play. We played it was the duck game that somebody recommended last night. It's actually really fun. It's like a rogue with ducks. Thank you again, Silent Spartan. That's ridiculously generous. Like, open the box. All right. Open the box. Okay, so there's a lot about this that is fun and hilarious. So, and also, I will not be petty. I will not be petty. I promise that I will not be petty. Thank you, Stonespire, for gifting a member. So there are milestones for hours watched on Twitch, and for 5 million hours watched, you get a fancy trophy, basically. And no, we did not get 5 million hours watched since April. This is tracking the life of the channel. So this might be a little bit too heavy for grocery bags, but we'll set it here on the desk. And a 5 bomb from Alex and another single. Hang on, I know what you guys just did. You guys just worked together. 2 singles came in from Stonespire to make this hit 420, but now it's 425. Another milestone reached. 4 purple. I appreciate it so much. So this is 99 and 48. 99 and 48. Thank you, Alex. There you go. It's actually really heavy. So we'll just set that there. We'll just put this in the frame and just kind of let that be a celebration this week. There we go. Stonefire says, thank you, Alex. And the box is cool, too. Keep it in here with all my other stuff. That's really the audience's award for putting up with 5 million hours of Lono. It looks like it has the tears of your haters dripping on it. You know, that's true because they're big and they're fake. That's accurate. Where's the orbit trophy? There is not a trophy for being in orbit, unfortunately. Say thank you. It only took 5 years. I'm not going to post it on Twitter and be petty. No, I'm not going to invite that the ire of the jealous monsters that are out there. We can just we're gonna hold our head high here and be like, this is a huge testimony to what we've achieved. The next milestone. There's another milestone. There's another heart that you get. I don't even know where you check that. I think it's like 10 million or something is the next one. Because I think when I went to look, where do you check that? Is that in analytics? Oh, here it is. It's probably in achievements. The bleed purple marble is 50 million hours. We're at 7.44, so we're at 7.5 million. So, yeah. Wired Rope says they all fell off and should feel bad. Well, I mean, I don't really care about that. Yeah. Yeah, we just need another 5 years to get 50 million is probably, I'll admit it, that's probably not going to happen, boys. I don't have that kind of time. We got to go viral. We got to become like, we got to get like, you need like Asmongold Gold level of viewership to pull that one off. That's not happening in my lifetime. So, but I mean, this is a tribute to what we achieved before the dark times. It just goes to show you that, you can't take that away from us. 2 years already. Thank you for $2, 8-Bit Pro with the super chat. You the best. Charlie from Xbox mentioned me in her story and left me a cool message. My day is made. I ended up in her Instagram story because you took a screenshot of my stream. You know what I mean? Lightning strikes are random. You never know. It's true. It's true. This is true. Please check the questions. Okay. You could have just typed this, but that's okay. Do you know if and when Yubi will do a show? I have no idea. They haven't really said much of anything. They did a reveal of like a Netflix Splinter Cell thing on Twitter. That's pretty much all they've done. They've been pretty quiet. They've been pretty quiet this week. I'm off holiday tomorrow, so I won't be around tomorrow next week. Well, enjoy your holiday, Hilly. Prop your feet and have a good one. Have a good trip. Is there anything on the UB roadmap that we should know about? Yeah, what is it? There is something coming, isn't there? Oh, yeah, Division 2. Yeah, Division's there. Division's there. Let's see if we can't get a schedule to see what we should do tomorrow. Here we go. Gamescom full schedule. So tomorrow's the 22nd. It doesn't look like there's anything scheduled for tomorrow that I can see. Are you guys aware of anything that I'm not aware of? Because I figured we would just boot up and do another Gamescom stream tomorrow. But there's supposed to be a Bethesda broadcast tomorrow. Maybe. It'll be on the Div channel. I can't find anything for tomorrow. I'm not seeing a single one of the news outlets that like posts schedules. I'm not seeing anything. Your Michael Bay comment was right, even though I enjoy some of his movies. Yeah, I wasn't saying it in a disparaging way. Yeah, it just says Bethesda is there from the 22nd to the 25th. Awesome Indies has already happened, so we could watch that tomorrow. I mean, there's an official Gamescom YouTube channel that has stuff scheduled for tomorrow. Oh, they unlist Day 2 live stream English. It's 2 hours long. It looks like the Gamescom stream was just bouncing around. Oh, Gamescom Studio IGN was hosting it. Yeah, they're doing a stream tomorrow. It starts at 8 a.m. On Division's Twitter. Okay, the Division 2 at Gamescom. Hang on. Creature got the link. Their website's super slow. Oh, they publish this today? Tune in tomorrow where we have updates about the Division Resurgence, a big new Division project, live on the Twitch channels at 1600 CST. 1600 CST and Eastern is 10 in the morning. So we'll be able to watch that tomorrow as well. We'll just do another Gamescom stream tomorrow. Now, Bethesda is going to be broadcasting on the Xbox showroom floor starting on August 22nd. According to Microsoft, it's going to include developer interviews, game showcases, community segments, crafting highlights, and IRL tours. So Bethesda is doing something tomorrow as well. So we'll actually have some stuff to watch tomorrow. The Gamescom official broadcast, a Bethesda broadcast, and then a panel with the Division. Did you see this? More fuel to those delisting and online mods being cut off. Yeah, it's Charlie. I think she's great. I thought she did a great job. I've always thought she was a good host. She also, I mean, again, there's a lot of people that have been seemingly, losing weight lately. Like we know Phil has lost some weight. I think she looks great. Like if you compare her Xbox On interview with Phil from a couple of years ago to now, she looked very different. And I think that's great. I think, hopefully, again, you hope people are doing it safely. Because there were a couple times where Phil kind of looked a little unwell. Project Cars 3 will be delisted in August, marking the end of the racing franchise. Yet delisting doesn't mean you can't play it, means you can't buy it. It doesn't, are you not going to be able to play it? Delisting just means they pull it from the stores. Some of that's licensure, like they can't sell the game anymore because of the licenses with the cars and stuff. Like if they can't get the license renewed or the license expires, a lot of times that's what they have to do. They literally have to shut the thing down. She's cool. I like her. She's got a good personality. Yeah. I think she did a great job with the interviews. I think she's one of their stronger interviewers, because I know what it's like to have to do that, and sometimes, man, it can be like pulling teeth these people about their games. You know, interviews can kind of flatline if, you know, you're not careful. I don't think they're going to announce Starfield for PlayStation in this kind of an environment. I don't think so. I don't think they will. When the bots send you the same messages back to back. That's so funny. Okay. I stretched a little bit for you guys, but it's like 10 till 3. I've been in the chair for almost 6 hours. And Thursdays are a little tight for me because I got soccer practice with the kids, with the kiddos. So... our first games are Saturday. Said earlier, a lot of the devs don't want to speak, and she's good at initiating conversations. Yeah, she does a great job. So thank you guys so much. As we come to an end here, try to get me to 300 likes as well. This broadcast could pick up some speed later. It's a good thumbnail, and people are interested in Gamescom. It was a good video, too. We just kind of scrolled through and looked at gameplay and had good conversations. What's the soccer team name? We always wait to pick names. They get their... It's always pure and utter chaos. They get... I have like an irritated spot on my head. I like scratched it too hard or something. You guys see that? They'll get their jerseys on Saturday, and once they get their colors, they'll pick one. Yeah. Yep. That's usually when we pick our names. So... sometimes they get like, I mean, they'll get any color. I mean, the girls last year were purple, so they were, you know. Yeah. All right, so appreciate you guys and all your support. Hit that like button on your way out. And we should have some uploads for the weekend as well. My reaction to that Swords of Legends trailer, and then we may try and pull out my commentary on Farty Bombs is the winner. Oh yeah, I don't think our parents would like us calling ourselves Farty Bombs, but yeah. Anyway, yeah, we may pull out my commentary and my reaction to Hollow Knight, because that was really enjoyable, just kind of like combing through and watching it. I turned the sound off and just kind of reacted to and gave commentary on all the things I was noticing. So, yeah. Appreciate you guys and all that you do. Make sure, especially if you got a gifted membership, that you're hanging out in the Discord. It's a great way to not miss out on content and stay connected to the community. And, yeah, we'll just do some more Gamescom coverage tomorrow to end the week. And then you guys are well on your way to unlocking Friday night. Let's think of a fun game to make Madam play tomorrow night if you guys hit the stretch goal, all right? Maybe we'll just show you that duck game that we've been playing. It's pretty funny, all right? We'll see ya.